And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream here on the channel, a Film Stock Live, because it is Monday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when I typically do these Film Stock Lives. But we're here now doing this thing. Today, the main topic is most anticipated movies for the rest of 2023. So, of course, as I always do, drop your most anticipated films for the rest of the year in the chat. Hit that like button if you guys have not already. It helps out quite a bit, more than you know. And fire off your questions. I'll get to as many of those as I can, but also I will be addressing sort of most anticipated films for the rest of the year. It'll sort of turn into a Q&A as we get further into it. But yeah, welcome in, everybody. Welcome. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. What was I going to say? One more thing. Super chat is a way to go to guarantee to get your question, comment, concern. If you got a hot take, if you got anything you want me to talk about, super chat's the way to go to guarantee that I get to it, because there's always going to be a lot of stuff in the chat. I won't be able to get to everything. But let's go ahead and let's do this thing. Let's dive in. So, all right. All right, Ryan, what's good? Connor, how you doing? Looks like you guys had a good little dialogue going before the stream started. Network 98, what's up? Mad Titan, how's everybody doing? Welcome in. Here's this message again. Just letting you guys know that Super Chat is a huge way to help support me in the channel. Also, it guarantees that I get your question, your comment, your concern. My most anticipated movie for the rest of the year is Five Nights at Freddy's and Expendables 4. I don't know how to feel about this new Expendables movie. I'm not a huge Expendables guy. I watched them all for the first time this year, and the first one was like decent. The second one was eh. The third one was outright bad. The marketing for this fourth Expendables movie looks like Sylvester Stallone's barely even in the movie. I think they're going to kill him off, honestly, or he's just not in it much. Either way, not too stoked for that. I think I'll still check it out and do like a ranking, but even then, I'm not terribly pumped for it. Let's see. Five Nights at Freddy's I'm excited for. Haven't played the games, not familiar with the lore. Was talking about this with a buddy yesterday on the phone. I don't know if Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be, if it's going to be 3 hours long, like it's rumored to be. That's a problem. That's a real big issue. That movie needs to be an hour 45 tops. All right. So if it's a 3-hour movie, that definitely takes away some of my excitement for the film. Expendables 4, I don't know. I'll watch it probably, but I don't really know. Swirly Bird says I'm excited for FNAF. I'll check it out for sure. Jack's in the house. What's good, Jack? Mine is definitely The Creator. I personally feel the Rogue One vibes. It would have bbeen Dune. Yeah, unfortunately, Dune Part 2 delayed because Warner Bros. Refuses to fairly pay their actors and writers and would rather spend money delaying the movie, which is absurd to me. I can't wrap my brain around that one. I look forward to The Creator, but I'm not like pumped for it. Like, I'll watch it, but I could go without seeing it in theaters. That's like where I stand with it right now. It looks like a good enough sci-fi action flick, but the plot from what I've seen doesn't look like anything groundbreaking. So I hope the movie's good. I'm rooting for it to be good, but I never want to go into a movie and actively root against it, right? So I'm going to give it a shot. I just don't know if it'll be all that. I hope it is, though. Rogue One is a very good movie. So Gareth Edwards coming in and direct that. I think he did the Godzilla film as well, the 2014 Godzilla film. So there's some talent behind the camera. I'm curious to see if the plot and the characters are compelling remotely. So we'll see about that. Eli says, you had me worried about the thumbnail yesterday. Every now and then you just got to embrace clickbait. If you guys haven't checked out that video, go watch it and see what it's all about. But it was basically talking about the podcast, which you guys check out, go subscribe to if you haven't. That is linked down below. But it was talking about the Unusual Couple podcast, how it's back in full force and we're having fun with it. And there's a blooper reel at the end of that video that I had so much fun editing because we really could not get the intro of that video down. We were struggling so hard. It was something. It was a lot of fun. I'll say that much. Zach says Killers of the Flower Moon. That's up there for me. That's up there. That's probably not my most anticipated, but top 3 most anticipated for the rest of the year. Anytime Scorsese makes a movie, it's going to be on my most anticipated list. But you've got Leo, who at this point acts every few years, like every handful of years, it feels like. You've got De Niro, you've got Jesse Plemons, Brendan Fraser. I mean, the amount of Oscar nominations in that cast is absurd, really. So Killers of the Flower Moon's high up there. Network 98 says mine is Saw X and FNAF. I'm pumped for Saw X, which I'm going to call it Saw X. I know people will probably be like, it's Saw 10. It's whatever I want to call it. I'm excited for that movie, very much so. The trailer sold me, and I like how it is a prequel film within the franchise. So I'm looking forward to both those. Waterbot, what's good? Beans, how you doing? Elvis in the house. What's good, Elvis? Napoleon, someone says. I am interested to see if this can be a win for I almost just said Edgar Wright. Ridley Scott. Obviously, he did House of Gucci and Last Duel, and that was in 2021. Neither movie really a big hit for me. Last Duel was way better than House of Gucci, but even then, people weren't really raving about either film that much. They both went under the radar almost. I hope this is a win, but I'm not terribly pumped for it. If that makes sense. It's almost 3 hours, it's a historical biopic type movie, so I'll check it out, but I'm not amped for it, if that makes sense. Sam, what's good? Owen, how you doing? I'm more excited for Hunger Games or Wonka. Probably going to go Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the Hunger Games movie. A little more excited for that one. I said this in my video. I think I made a video a week or two ago talking about my most anticipated fall movies, and Hunger Games was on this list. It just has the trailer that I've seen, at least. And again, I haven't read the book. It has that feeling of the classic Hunger Games film, which to me is like a modern classic franchise. Like I grew up going to the theater for this one, and it was a talk of the town from 2012, 13, 14, 15. Every year, it was a big deal to go see the Hunger Games movie. It would be the talk of the town in school that whole year. I remember reading the first 2 books before the first 2 movies, and it was just a big deal. I'm excited to revisit that world, so I'm going to go with the Hunger Games film. I'm still excited for Wonka. I know that I just spit everywhere. I'm still excited for Wonka. I think there's a lot of promise there. It has this magical feeling about it. But I can't say I'm more excited for it than Hunger Games. I'm more excited for the Hunger Games movie. I think it was in my top 4 most anticipated for the remainder of the year, Swirly Bird. So that's how I feel about that. By the way, if you guys are in here, hit that like button. See, we got 42 of you in here. Hit that like button. Let's get to 42 likes. It helps out more than you guys know. Jacob says most anticipated The Creator, but I'm most likely going to say Wonka because it comes out near my birthday. I don't know why I got an accent there. Sometimes I just do when I read things, but fair enough. So you got a December birthday. That's interesting. Should be fun. Dune 2 was one of the only anticipated movies for the rest of the year, but now it's delayed. Yeah, I agree with that last part. Pay the actors and writers. It's absurd that movie's delayed. Perfect release window. It had even 6 weeks in IMAX, everything. The fall, it was going to dominate November, but it's delayed. Will I see The Creator? I will. Tobin Bell in the house, the star of Saw X himself. Saw X because I'm in it. Well, I'm looking forward to it, Tobin. Would you like to set up an interview for the movie? No, I'm kidding. All right. Tears of the Flower Moon, The Creator. Yeah, a lot of people in the chat upset about Dune. I am too. I really was looking forward to it because I even saw Denis Villeneuve said this in a quote recently. He said Dune Part 2 is a war movie. That's what I wanted Dune Part 1 to be. I'm ready. All right. Sam says, finally checked out Stranger Things. Hell yes. Hell yes to that. And it's become one of my favorite shows. Joyce is my favorite character. Joyce rules. She's awesome. She's the best mom in Hawkins, and there's no denying that. I love her. She cares strongly for her kids and everyone in her life. Joyce rules. She's one of the more like underrated, underappreciated characters in the show. So hell yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean, if you haven't seen Stranger Things and you're in this chat, you got to go watch it. You got to. Aquaman 2. I don't think it's going to come out this year. I also don't know if this is a real take or not because I don't know anyone who's actually excited for this movie. Regardless, if you are, more power to you. And secondly, is the movie actually going to come out this year? I don't think it is. I really don't. I mean, I look at it and I go, there's no marketing yet. It's about to be September. It's September on Friday. The movie comes out in December. We haven't even gotten a poster yet. What? So something's off. I think it could get delayed. And Warner Bros. Would be, they either have no faith in it, so they're going to say screw it and have another box office bomb, or they're just going to delay it inevitably. We'll see. I like this pick a lot, Eli. Dumb Money is a movie with a loaded cast, with a talented director in Craig Gillespie. It's in my top 10 most anticipated for the back half of the year. It's one of those movies that I forget's coming out. It's coming out, I believe, October. It's like first week of October or like end of September, I want to say. I think they moved it to October 6th. Really looking forward to it. Paul Dano, Pete Davidson, Sebastian Stan, Vincent D'Onofrio, Anthony Ramos, Shailene Woodley. The list goes on and on. It's talented, and it reminds me of those corporate biopic type movies, almost like a Social Network or a BlackBerry, where it's this rise and fall of somebody. Kind of Wolf of Wall Street vibes in a way, even where you like see someone getting all this money, but then it's gonna crash just as fast as you build it up. That's the story I like to see. I trust this director. I mean, it's got I, Tonya vibes from the trailer, just the way it's directed. I'm ready for that one. That's what I'm saying. It's one of those movies that I just it's not obviously really not being marketed right now. It's probably not got a huge marketing budget anyway, but it's one of those movies that I'm looking forward to. I really am. So that's one to be on the lookout for. Alex says Equalizer 3. I haven't seen Equalizer 1 and 2, so I think I'm skipping Equalizer 3 just because this upcoming weekend is when the film comes out. It's Labor Day weekend. I'll be hanging out with friends, family. I've got a busy personal weekend, so I won't be watching many movies. So I don't think I'll be seeing this one. Star Court in the house. Shout out Jacob. What's good? I'm looking forward to Nun 2. I'm not really pumped for it. I had watched the Conjuring trilogy probably a month ago now, and I really enjoyed the first two. The third one was I gotta watch a lot though in order to watch. I gotta watch, or maybe I could just watch The Nun and then go watch The Nun 2. But there's 3 Annabelle films I still need to watch, and The Curse of La Llorona if I want to do a Conjuring universe movie ranking. I don't know if anyone in this in the chat or anyone out there really cares to watch that. But I could do that. That is a possibility in my notes to potentially watch the rest of those films and do a big ranking of the Conjuring universe films. But regardless, I'm not like, even if I do all my homework and I go watch them too, it's not like I'm that excited for it. It got a good jump scare, got me pretty good in the preview. Looks decent enough, but I'm more excited for Saw X. If I'm talking horror in September, that's the one I'm looking forward to. We're also getting a movie Friday, I want to say. I don't know if it comes out. I'm trying to find out where it comes out, but it stars Natalia Dyer. What is it called? It's called All Fun and Games. It's a horror movie with Natalia Dyer. So I want to see if I can watch that. I just don't know where to find it. I don't know. It's not. I don't know if it's even in theaters. I was looking. It's weird. It might be like a VOD movie. Like it's bizarre, to be honest with you. But yeah, we got BK in the house. At BK. Let's see. Charlie with the super chat. Thank you, Charlie. What are your thoughts on delayed of Dune Part 2? So I touched on this a second ago pretty briefly, but I'll go in depth a little more here. I think it's disgraceful and a bad business decision. I don't understand why you're delaying a movie that has had 6 weeks dedicated to its IMAX run, exclusively Dune Part 2. It was the fall season, which is bigger for movies. It's now moved to March, which is already sort of competitive. I don't understand the decision at all. I think it's because they know they wouldn't have the actors to promote the film, mainly Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet. They need them to promote it. Even then, just make a deal. End the strike, studios. It's the ball's in their court, in my opinion. End the strikes and fairly pay the actors and writers. And instead, they're literally willing to spend money to delay the movie. It costs money to delay a movie. They already had trailers for this movie come out. They had that big feature in Empire come out on the magazine, and it's childish to me that they're like, no, we're gonna delay the movie to March. It's like you're a bunch of punks, honestly. Like I Warner Bros. Might be the worst managed studio in Hollywood right now. Not might, it is. It is. They have no clue what they're doing. None. And it's not new. This is nothing new. They have no clue what they're doing. None. They are fools. Fools. And I'm sick of it, really. I'm about over Warner Bros. Entirely. It blows my mind how stupid they are. Because they've screwed DC for over a decade now. They have no clue what they're doing with DC. None. What else have they screwed? Just about most things they touch. Obviously, Barbie's lighting it up, and that's great. So they're getting even greedier. They're like, oh, we're gonna make a Mattel cinematic universe. I don't even know. That's my thoughts on the delaying of that film. Stupidity, in my opinion. Just idiots, fools. But thank you for the super chat, Charlie. Unfortunate that the movie's delayed. Zach with the super chat. Love the profile pic, by the way. Rewatched Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire last night again in theaters. Holy hell, almost the whole cast's hair is atrocious. Great movie, though. I won't argue there. That is everyone has these shaggy haircuts, and it's like, you need to see a barber or something. This is a problem. Harry's hair, ridiculous. Ron's hair, ridiculous. Cedric Diggory even has some bushy hair. Even I think, yeah, like everyone's hair is just so long for some reason. Just it's weird to me. I mean, that always has been something I've noticed about that movie. It's kind of a running gag, but I agree. Great movie. I know people put that lower on their Harry Potter list. I have it in the upper 4. There's 8 films. It's in the top 4, I want to say. I think it is my number 4, actually. So I enjoy that one quite a bit. I never understood the backlash towards it. It's like the Hunger Games before the Hunger Games in Harry Potter. It is the first time we see Voldemort really in his form in the Harry Potter films. You've got Cedric Diggory. I mean, the score. Come on, this is a great movie, and I'm sick of people acting like it's not. Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? I love it. I love that movie. So awesome that you got to experience it in theaters. I think I saw a while back. Every week, is it Cinemark? It's some theater chain. Every week, a new Harry Potter movie in theaters leading up to Deathly Hallows 1 and 2, which is sometime in September. So if anyone out there is seeing them all, let me know in the chat. That's really cool. I considered it, but then I realized I would be out of town for one of them. And I was like, I just don't want to do that. I have never seen a Harry Potter movie in theaters. I've seen one Fantastic Beasts movie in theaters, but none of the other Harry Potter films. So if you didn't know that about me, I'm actually late to the party for Harry Potter. I didn't watch them for the first time until I was about 18 years old. So about 6 years ago, which is crazy. But I'm well-versed now, and I love that world. So enjoy if you go see another one, Zach, enjoy. And their hair is god-awful in that movie. That's a fact right there, my friend. A fact. First splits. I was reading the comments yesterday. Let me take a sip of water. All the comments were like, I thought you had cancer. I thought you were breaking up. I thought you were getting married or having a child. And I was just like laughing the whole time because it was like, I never really do clickbait on my channel, but it worked so well. And I'm glad. I honestly, I felt like proud of myself. I was like, I got them. But the reason I did that, if you guys didn't know, is literally, I think it worked because I had a plan, right? I said, I'm going to make a really clickbaity video, and I think it's going to get more clicks than normal to get eyes on the podcast, which I love and which Cam loves doing. And I think it's worked because the podcast has grown since I posted that video pretty decently. So sometimes I guess you just got to resort to clickbait, get your hands dirty. Man. No, yeah, those comments are funny. I've sifted through some of them. It's I got a lot of people said they had a heart attack. Don't do this again. It was like, damn, maybe I'll have something cooked up for April Fool's next year then. Oh man. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, it was nerve-wracking for a lot of people, so it seems, to click on that video. How could I forget The Craving? It's not a live stream if we don't get a mention of Taco Bell or the Craving movie. Tristan, how you doing? Bean says my most anticipated rest year is Wonka. Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like the vibes of that trailer. I will die on that hill. A lot of answers for the creator here for most anticipated for the remainder of the year. The Marvels or Rebel Moon? The Marvels. I'm not excited for Rebel Moon at all. I filmed a trailer reaction that never will see the light of day because I legitimately was rolling my eyes for probably 90% of the trailer. It looks insufferable. I'm just being honest. It looks insufferable. The movie's probably going to be 5 hours long. I'll quit being annoying here or dramatic here. The movie's probably going to be 3 hours and 30 minutes long, which is still ridiculous for Zack Snyder. I mean, the amount of obnoxious ass slow-mo shots in that trailer, the fact that it feels like it's setting up a Game of Thrones world in a movie, how am I supposed to buy into that? I already know this is going to be an overstuffed mess of a movie. I can already tell from watching the trailer. The trailer was almost 4 minutes long. I felt the runtime of the trailer. I can only imagine how the movie's going to play out. I'm not excited. I'm not really not. So I know a lot of people are so fragile. They're hardcore, diehard Snyder fan, and they're the most fragile people I've ever interacted with online. I'm just shooting everyone here straight. If you love Snyder, this is not an attack on you because you can like Snyder and not be toxic online. You can like Snyder and that's all fine and dandy, but the people who are like attacking other people are the worst, and it's so irritating. But regardless, I'm judging the product itself, the trailer. No, I almost feel like the trailer thinks it's like, oh, look at this, we've got the next Star Wars, and it's just not that at all. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. I'm not excited. I may not even watch it. That's how I feel about it. All right. They just got to release Aquaman 2 or cancel it. I don't even know. I think they should. I really think they might just need to end the DCEU, but I don't know. I've thought about this. I made a DC hot takes video, reacting to DC hot takes video. Someone said this. They said, I care more about the Elseworld stuff. They should just focus on Elseworlds. And I'm like, you're right. You're right. I've thought about it. Abandon the cinematic universe. Have a solo Superman trilogy, have a solo Wonder Woman trilogy, have a solo Batman trilogy, have a solo Joker trilogy. Just do trilogies with characters. Not everything needs to be connected, and that seems to be a problem. DC is still going to try and force that, I think, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens. My most anticipated is FNAF and the Creator. Nice. I'm more pumped for Ahsoka. Yeah, Ahsoka is great so far. We've got 2 episodes, and I'm pumped for episode 3. That's tomorrow night. I like how they're doing it on weeknights. So tomorrow at 9:00 for me on the East Coast, it'll drop, and I'm excited for that. I really am. So I haven't heard personally anyone who's watched Ahsoka dislike it. Even my buddy, who's kind of been on the outs with some recent Star Wars stuff, watched it and was like, I really liked what they set up. So I dig it as a fan of Rebels, but also just as a fan of classic Star Wars. It embodies that to me, and I'm on board. I am. So I'm more excited for Ahsoka week to week than movies as well. September, I'm just gonna say it up front in a language warning. September's a shit month for movies. There's no. I can't even water it down. All right, we're getting a 4th Expendables movie that no one asked for. We're getting one movie I'm hyped for, Saw X. The Creator, I mean, that's almost October is what I'm trying to say. We're getting 2 movies on September 29th. For 28 days of September, what do we really have? The Nun 2, The Equalizer 3, and Expendables. Is that it? It's dry right now. It's dry right now. And it's going to be until October. We're getting some more. November's bigger, and December, like the last 3 months will be bigger. But September, there's not really much. Thankfully, football's back. Thankfully, Ahsoka's on. You make a good point here. And thankfully, older movies and TV shows exist that we can go rewatch. But it's not that enticing of a month, for me at least, for movies. By the way, 60 people. And if you guys are in here, hit that like button. It helps out quite a bit. Super chat's the way to go to guarantee I get to your question, comment, concern. It's also a huge way to help support me and the channel. And if you guys are in here on the replay, hit that like button as well. I know a lot of you guys are, time zones. So it's like all around the world people watch. So it's not possible for everyone to be in here all at the same time. Water. All right. What's up, Jason? How you doing? Welcome. All right. Okay. There's something in my throat. Everyone go subscribe. There's the Unusual Couple podcast right there. Check it out. There it is. Doing a little pose for it. The Unusual Couple podcast. Go subscribe if you haven't. In the chat. Literally in the chat. Love to see it. All right. We can transition into some questions now. I'm looking at the chat here. I think we had a good little talk about most anticipated. The consensus, a lot of people say The Creator. A lot of people are saying Wonka, The Hunger Games. But let's transition into a bit of a Q&A here as well. What's your most anticipated for 2024? I mean, look, this slate for 24, wide open. It's very subject to change is what I meant to say. So I can't really pinpoint one. I will say Deadpool 3 is currently my most anticipated of 2024, but I don't know if it's coming out next year. That's the scary thing. But right now, that is my most anticipated for 2024, and it's not really close for next year. And then the next year, I believe I'm going the Batman Part 2. I think that got a 25 release date. Again, it's not going to come out in 2025. No, everything's going to get delayed a year or two from what it says right now, I think. But regardless, those 2 movies are high on my anticipated list right now. All right. Alamo Draft House. Okay, cool. I don't think there is one near me. I've never been to an Alamo Draft House, but I know they do cool special screens like that. So that's neat that you get to see the Harry Potter movies in theaters like that. You should watch Stranger Things first because that is the better show. And I know that a lot of people love Cobra Kai. Trust me, I love Cobra Kai too. But I'm just saying Stranger Things is a better, more important show right now to watch. I think you will. I honestly, because you don't have to watch anything beforehand. If you're not a Karate Kid fan, you might not enjoy Cobra Kai as much. But if you just want a great show on its own that creates this world, Stranger Things, got to. I've said this before and I mean it. Stranger Things is one of the very few pieces of media to me where I have a deep love for multiple characters. Almost every character in the show. Like, that's how well written it is. I care deeply about multiple characters in that show. Almost 10, 15, almost every character in the show, I'm like, damn, this is such a well-written show with characters I love. So, Stranger Things. Watch them both eventually, obviously, but Stranger Things. Yeah, I got to get on it. Haunting of Hill House. I mean, September is right around the corner, literally right around the corner. So I need to get on my horror watch list again. I take a step back from movies in August. It just happens. I haven't watched many at all, but I have a ton of horror movies I want to get through. And I feel like I should start in September because it's fall and this is going to be in the air. And that way I'm not watching them all in October. So if I start up, I think my goal right now is to watch the Annabelle trilogy, the Conjuring, or excuse me, the Annabelle films, the Curse of La Llorona and the Nun, and then the Nun 2. Take care of all those, and then transition over to maybe Paranormal Activity because I got to knock out that whole franchise. And then from there, I can go solo. I want to go Jeepers Creepers, maybe Barbarian, maybe The Exorcist, stuff like that. Do I enjoy the Conjuring universe? This is a topical question. I do enjoy the trilogy. The first two were some of the scariest movies I've ever seen. 3 wasn't really all that. 3 was bad, actually. 3 was... it was meh, borderline outright bad. I think that's where I sat with it. And the more I let it sit and marinate, the more I go, that movie was pretty underwhelming. But the first 2 Conjuring films, when James Wan's in the director's chair, some of the creepiest movies I've ever seen. So yes, I do enjoy the Conjuring universe, but I can't speak to the stuff I haven't seen from the Conjuring universe. All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a chat here. Rebel Moon, the 9-hour movie. Yeah, literally. Thoughts on Superman Legacy? I'm looking forward to it, to see a Superman film from James Gunn. But at the same time, I don't know. I think this movie is important for the future of DC. And in reality, I don't know, in the grand scheme of DC, how great of a movie this can really be. So we'll see. I'm not really excited for anything DC right now. Frankly, they didn't have a win this year. They didn't. None of the movies they put out this year, I really was like, oh, that was amazing. They were all pretty underwhelming. Even Shazam: Fury of the Gods, which initially I was like, oh, that wasn't that bad. I had fun. I've thought about it, and it's not great. None of the movies they put out are that good. So I don't really care anymore. I'm kind of done with DC, to be honest. I'm done with DC unless it's Robert Pattinson, Batman, or Joker. I'm pretty much done for now. For the next few months, I'll watch Aquaman 2 because I kind of have to. I feel like I just have to see it and see all the DC movies, but I can't say I'm excited. I can't say I'm excited for the future, unfortunately, and it's a bummer because I want to be, but I'm just not. So there's that. September is a really poor month for movies, honestly. Ahsoka was way more divisive than I expected. Yeah, apparently people don't like it, and I don't understand that. Again, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion, but I don't understand what people are upset about or what they are trying to be upset about. I was watching a video today talking about people criticizing the acting in Ahsoka. What? I was really confused by that. I then saw people calling the show bland and lifeless. I just don't know anymore. I just don't know anymore. There's certain instances where it's like, okay, this Star Wars project is clearly has issues. Like The Mandalorian season 3, the consensus there was this season clearly has issues with pacing, with having a real main storyline that means anything. There was a whole entire episode with characters that were just side characters that it was the worst episode of the season. And then you've got the Bo-Katan Mando struggle for who's the real main lead of this season. Those were all issues. Through these 2 episodes of Ahsoka, I think people are actually enraged online. I don't know how that's even possible. I have no clue how that is possible. through what they've done in 2 episodes. If you like Rebels, I don't know how you can dislike this. It has a clear direction. It's got the classic Star Wars feel and tropes. I mean, there's lightsaber duels, there's lore of the Jedi, and we're further exploring these character relationships. I don't know how people are so upset about it. I mean, people are enraged, apparently. I don't know. I don't know how that's possible. That might be something deeper within certain people that I don't want to dive into on this stream, but it's just sad, really. Anyway, okay. Where are we at? Ooh, that's a good one. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is my most anticipated next year, best trilogy of all time. I wouldn't go that far. I like the Apes trilogy. It's really good, but Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes does come out next year. Interested to see how that turns out. It'll probably get delayed, to be honest with you. Most things are going to, unfortunately, but I'm curious to see. I probably won't rewatch the Apes trilogy until then. I've seen it. I haven't watched the Apes trilogy since 2017. I rewatched the first 2 before War, saw War in theaters. That was summer of 2017. That's the last time I watched one of those movies. So I own them on Blu-ray, and they're really good from what I recall. I just I don't go back to them. And again, that's nothing against them. That's not in my rotation of I'm going to watch this trilogy, this movie series. Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Harry Potter, even Lord of the Rings recently. I've rewatched those, and I just don't go, I'm going to watch the Apes trilogy. I don't know why that is, but I look forward to it still. Zach with the Keep Watch Burn. Thank you for the super chat, Zach. DC, so not DCU, so the Dark Knight trilogy, the Batman, Marvel, and Star Wars. Even with that, I have to burn DC. Even with that, which is unfortunate. But I did a ranking. If I look at every DC movie that's not the DCU, the Dark Knight trilogy and the Batman hold the most weight. Anything else doesn't really matter to me. All the other Batman movies are eh. You know, the Burton ones, the Joel Schumacher ones, the 60s one, even the animated stuff. Some of it's great, but it doesn't hold as much weight to me personally or emotionally as the Marvel films. Because even if that's Marvel non-MCU, I mean, I've got the X-Men, the Raimi trilogy, TASM, Deadpool, Logan, and if it's MCU, obviously I love the MCU. So I think I watch that. I think I keep Star Wars. I really think I keep Star Wars. I thought about that lately. And the reason when I go Star Wars versus Marvel right now, television, huge plus in the Star Wars column. You've got Andor, The Mandalorian, The Clone Wars, Rebels, moments from the Book of Boba Fett, moments from Obi-Wan, technically, moments from the Bad Batch, all of Star Wars Rebels, which I think I may have already said, but still, Ahsoka, which we're enjoying right now. All of that I take over the MCU Disney Plus show. But then I go Daredevil's great, Daredevil's great, The Punisher's great. It's tough. Rewatchability-wise, give me the Star Wars shows. Movies, I mean, the original 6 films, the trilogy, the original trilogy and the prequels, fantastic. Fantastic. I take Star Wars over Marvel right now. Keeping Star Wars, watching Marvel, burning DC. Hot take, I don't know. Excuse me. I can live the rest of my life just not acknowledging a sequel trilogy. I'm fine with that. I know I have to factor that in. I'm fine with that. We haven't touched that in anything really except for the sequel trilogy. What I mean by that is none of these shows have really gotten close to the sequel timeline. They've teased certain things involving like cloning, but they've never gone there. So until we go back to that time period, it does not really exist to me. I'm not saying burn it, eradicate it, decanonize it, any of that. I'm just saying in my head, I don't need to acknowledge them. Like when I watch Return of the Jedi, that's the end of it for the movies. Then I watch, Luke return in The Mandalorian and then Boba Fett, but I don't give a damn about anything really that far down the line. I don't really care. When I watch Return of the Jedi, I'm not thinking, oh, Palpatine's gonna end up actually returning in The Rise of Skywalker. Nope, he's dead. That's the way I look at it. So, same thing. When I watch Revenge of the Sith, I don't really acknowledge Obi-Wan Kenobi when I go and watch A New Hope. You want to know why? Because for however long, for 15 years? No, 17, 18 years, I believe. Roughly. 17 years, we'll call it. We didn't even have the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. It wasn't even a thought. So for 17 years, we didn't have that content, so I just watched Revenge of the Sith and then went straight into A New Hope. It's forced in later. That's the way I view Star Wars. Like all these things, they're like, oh, let's squeeze it into this timeline and then make you reevaluate the way you watch this movie to understand this movie. It's like, no, because that's not how it was ever originally intended. You could watch the original trilogy and kind of just like call it quits if you wanted to. You know what I mean? That's how I feel, at least. That's just me. But thank you for the super chat, Zach. Thank you. And that's my Star Wars rant for the day. Let me just say that much. Let me take a sip of water. We got Sean Chandler in the house. Round of applause for the legend. I'm a DC hater, Sean, and you missed it. I'm also a Zack Snyder hater, so what can you do? But welcome in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Sean. Let's see. Where was I in the chat? The good old chat. All right. So I answered this one. Somewhere around here. Haunting in Venice also comes out. I will probably be skipping that one, however. What are big movies coming out in October, November? Let's go to IMDb. We've got Killers of the Flower Moon, which is one I more anticipate for the rest of the year. We've got Five Nights at Freddy's. That's to round out October. So October ends with a bang, and we take that momentum into November. November would have been stronger if Dune obviously didn't get delayed. I already went on my whole spiel about that earlier. However, you've got The Killer, which just got a poster. I think that was this morning. Really excited for that. That drops the same day as the Marvels. You've got a Hunger Games movie. You've got a Taika Waititi movie called Mexico Wins. You've got Napoleon. You've got a Disney movie called Wish. November's the stacked month, I think, for the rest of the year, because December doesn't really have a big one till like midway through the month. So I'm going to say between those two, I know this wasn't a part of the question. I'm just going to add it in anyway. I'm going to say right now, November is the best month remaining this year for movies. I'll say that. But yeah, that's kind of the Detective Cobra, to answer your question. That's kind of the big push, big draw for movies right there. All right, let's do a speed round. Where's Cam? She's at her place right now. She just opened her Etsy shop, though. You guys should go check it out. She's doing some great artwork over there. I think Rebel Moon looks high-key garbage. Look, I said my piece earlier. I don't think it looks garbage, but I do think it could suffer the fatal flaw. The issue I have with a lot of Zack Snyder projects is this overstuffed world introducing these wild, huge concepts and not being able to really pay them off in the movie. I know it's a two-parter, but I'm just afraid, you know? And the fact that half the movie will be in slow-mo, that's not helping anybody. All right. I did see this Barbie. Yeah, Warner Bros. Highest grossing movie, and I believe it's now at $1.4 billion. I filmed a video, a short talking about box office, and I had it at $1.34 billion because of Box Office Mojo. That's what I always use when I make those box office videos. And I would say, yeah, it's going to end up being almost in the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time. I think it could end up, it could get to that 11 spot. I think Top Gun Maverick is the 11. Either way, it's impressive. It's really impressive. I didn't expect it to do this well. I said there's a chance it does $1 billion, but it's approaching 1.5 billion, which is frankly very impressive. All right. I appreciate that, Charlie. I have a lot of fun doing these. For those who don't know, I usually do a Monday Film Stock Live. We have a topic, go into Q&A like right now, right about this time. Wednesday, more of a traditional live Q&A. We got to Keep Watch Burn from Jacob, Pixar edition. This is easy for me. I already know my answer right now. So I'm keeping Onward. I'm a big fan of that movie, and I say this every time I get the chance to talk about it, and I mean it. It is the most underrated Pixar film. I firmly believe that. I saw it, it was like a week before the pandemic, I think, and then it unfortunately came out at a really bad time. It had this great story. I'm not kidding. I cried in the theater. Cam's not here, obviously, but she can testify. I cried in the theater. So I'm keeping Onward. It's just a beautiful movie to me. Beautiful story of brotherhood. If you got a sibling, if you have, I mean, we all have a parental figure in our life. That's up there. Onward, I'm keeping. Look, I think I gotta watch Elemental, which I wasn't crazy about. Give it a second chance, see if I like it more, and burn Toy Story 4 because I don't know. I just I don't need Toy Story 4 for me right now. I don't need it. I thought 3 was the perfect ending. Talk about another Pixar movie that makes me cry. That's Toy Story 3. So I'm not like a hater of 4 necessarily. Again, I have a ranking where I really go in on this movie. Like not go in, but give you my issues with it. It's regressed over time for me. However, that's my answer to that little keep watch burn, Jacob. Sean with the super chat. Thank you, Sean. Keep killing it. I appreciate that. You're a legend. What is your cinema blind spot? What is a movie or movies which people would be surprised you haven't seen, or an era/genre of classics you just have little experience with? Great question. I'm going to go piece by piece here, Sean. My blind spot, movie or movies which people would be surprised you haven't seen. Okay, I have a list. I actually made a video on TikTok and YouTube, technically short, talking about this specifically. I made a video. It's called "Movies I Here." I said, "Here's a confession. Here's some big movies I haven't seen," and it's kind of it's hard to talk about because I feel like I don't know if you can relate, Sean, or other creators. It's like almost embarrassing. Like I have this movie channel, but I haven't seen this, so it's like I can't admit that I haven't seen that. Where's my watch list? I have one on Letterboxd. Let's go to that one actually. I don't use it though. Like I have one on Letterboxd, but I don't really use it. Here we go. So to answer this question, there's a lot of classic films I haven't seen. Like I like to think I've seen my fair share of classic cinema. I'm talking pre-1970s. That's probably a bit of a blind spot for me, to be honest. I've seen a bunch of notable classics, but I go here right now and I go, we'll include the 70s. I've seen a lot of the 70s hits, but we'll include the 70s. I'll rattle some off for you. Whatever era of cinema you want to describe this as, this is where I have a pretty big blind spot that I myself want to improve on. We'll call it the 70s. We've got Patton, The French Connection, Dirty Harry, American Graffiti, The Sting, which I've heard my parents love The Sting. My girlfriend's parents love The Sting. I would love that movie. I think it's Robert Redford and Paul Newman. Chinatown, all the President's Men, Close Encounters, The Deer Hunter, The Warriors, Kramer vs. Kramer, and then we go into Raging Bull, which I think is 1980. It is. So like the 70s, there's a lot of blind spots there. And then in the 80s too. So like 70s and 80s, but not like the big blockbusters, like the almost the Oscar nominated films of those decades. For example, in the 80s, like I said, Raging Bull, Wall Street, Full Metal Jacket. Those are a few movies I haven't seen. So that's my answer to this question. Those are some movies people would be surprised I haven't seen. The most modern, though, that really shocks people, How to Train Your Dragon. I'm ashamed of that. There's really no excuse for me having not seen that movie. I think the first one came out in 2010. I was 10 when it came out. I just didn't go see it in theaters for whatever reason. Don't know why. It beats me, so I've missed the boat on that one. I ordered the Blu-ray trilogy on Amazon on Black Friday, so I've got them in my possession. I just haven't watched them. So to answer the back half, the genre or era, the era would be like 70s, 80s prestige movies or like award-winning films, not the blockbuster stuff, but like the Oscar-nominated stuff from those two decades. And then you go further back, 40s, 50s. I've missed some there too. Seen some of the big ones, but missed some from there. But I think the one people might be surprised is I review newer movies. I talk about newer stuff, but I don't address the fact that I haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon, like the big popular DreamWorks franchise. So that would be my answer to that. A lot of words there, but I think I got my point across. But thank you for the super chat, Sean, and keep killing it yourself, man. You really are an inspiration to myself and many others. So all love your way, Sean. All right. Let's see where I was in the chat after I take a sip of water. Okay, I think I found my spot. Sam Hartman Heisman. Subscribe to 3 now. That's all I'm going to say. Thoughts on Superman Legacy? I already answered that one. Another Keep Watch Burn. A 2010 edition from Sam. Shout out Sam. Toy Story 3, The Social Network, Inception. Okay. I have my answer. So I rewatched The Social Network for the second time this year, for like the 10th time in my life, probably last week. I have not stopped thinking about it this rewatch. I was like, this is, I've always been like, it's one of my favorite movies. And I'll always throw that in there if I'm like, I don't have the guts to fully commit and be like, oh, it's my favorite movie. It's solidly in my top 5. So I'm keeping The Social Network. One of the most rewatchable movies. It's Aaron Sorkin's dialogue for 2 hours, and I love every second of it. The score, I mean, I could go on and on about how much I love that movie. Give me The Social Network to keep. Now I'm I'm caught though. That's the easy keep for me. Now which one do I watch and which one do I burn? My favorite Pixar movie versus my favorite Nolan movie. I mean, wow. How about I just watch one? I'll watch Inception, and then in my dream, I will watch Toy Story 3. There you go. I rigged it. And then in that dream, I'll watch The Social Network again, and then I'll ride the kick back out to The Social Network again. Okay, there you go. All right. Will I do reactions for Cobra Kai season 6? I plan to. I did them for seasons 1 through 5, so I feel like I know I've talked about reactions on the channel, how they've been kind of gone absent, if you will, for a lot of this year. However, I'm 100% bringing them back. That's the one thing where it's like, okay, I can start something and I can test the waters. If it's not working out for me, I'm fine. I'm fine letting it go. It's the watch parties. If you guys were here for those, that was 2021. I was fine. I was fine being like, okay, I can. It's like a pride day. I don't want to give up, but you got to test the waters on things. Some things work, some things don't. And I was like, I'm moving on. It was for the better to move on from watch parties. I was losing sleep. I mean, I was up at 3 a.m. It was insane. Anyway, reactions. I've tried them with different things. Cobra Kai was the one where I met a lot of you guys in this chat through Cobra Kai. I will be doing reactions to that. I won't do it for anything else probably, but I will be doing it for Cobra Kai. And you know what? Probably just the finale of Stranger Things right now. I could change my mind. I could do them all, but me and Cam will watch. We did the finale of season 4, and it was so much fun. And sad, I guess, we were kind of crying in the video. Her more so than me. I don't want to spoil Stranger Things because I know someone mentioned in the stream they just started it. But anyway. All right. Okay. Ahsoka on weeknights is electric. I felt genuine excitement. I love to hear this because I agree. Honestly, for me, I got the first 2 early, so I haven't been a part of it. But tomorrow night I will be watching it, and I really want to know, like, because I want to talk about the show, but I've kind of going back to what I just said. I've covered weekly shows before, and it's just it's difficult as a creator because I don't know. It's like you're judging only a tiny piece of the full vision. So it's kind of hard. I've done the week-to-week reviews before. I haven't done them since like 2021 for WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki. Look, I like the week-to-week thing. I do. In terms of reviews, though, I don't know if I'm going to do it. I know that's not part of your question. I'm just kind of talking out loud here, thinking out loud here. But regardless, I will cover Ahsoka when it's all said and done. I did my early review. I'll do the review of it probably when it's done, or some sort of ranking involving it. But it's going to be electric. And I promise you this much. Whenever certain characters return, which it's being teed up for, whenever they return, social media that night's going to be crazy. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what people's reaction are, because they're teeing it up. It's not like, oh, what if they show up? It's like, no, 2 characters are 1,000,000% showing up. And it's like, that's almost the main plot of the show right now. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. 2 questions from Sir King Chase. When do you think Beyond Spider-Verse is coming out? And what do you think the runtime is going to be? Good question. It's not going to come out. I'm serious. I said this before any of these strikes. It's not coming out till... This is going to upset a lot of you guys. I don't think it's coming out till 2027, maybe 2028, which would be 5 years from now. Which was 2018 to 2023. That's 5 years if I can do math. My math was never my strong suit. Yeah, so if it comes out in 2028, that's 5 years. That's what I'm thinking. How long do I think it'll be? Probably 2.5 hours minimum. Maybe 2 hours and 45 minutes. I don't think they'll go over 3 hours, but I could see it being, I'll say this, 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it comes out in 2028. Okay. Am I excited for Maxine? Honestly, no. I didn't like X. Wasn't my cup of tea. I know a lot of people liked X. Is that the third film? They did X, Pearl, and then that's the third one. I wasn't really crazy about it. All right. You got to watch Doctor Sleep this fall. I'm going to for sure. That's on the watch list. I know I haven't seen. I'm a slacker. And I do need to watch The Fablemans. I've also slacked on that one. I love Spielberg. I have no real reason to have not seen that. Across or into, I'm in the minority here, but I still lean into the Spider-Verse. Crazy, right? I don't know. Is this real? I feel like I would have got a Twitter notification about this. I'm just checking. Let's check. Was the Marvels actually delayed? I feel like I would have got a discussing film notification about it, so I'm not going to believe it until I fully see it. All right. Ryan, you already know Georgia's going to win. Don't even try me. All right. What car do you drive? I drive. No. Any Ryan Gosling fans out there? I drive a Honda Accord from 2009. There you have it. Curious how you feel about Barbarian. I thought it was decent, but overhyped. I will let you know. I'll let you know. I heard it was a short watch too, and I think I know the premise of the movie. I may have even seen a spoiler, which is kind of a bummer, but I'll let you know what I think of that when I watch it. Hello there again, Sean. How you doing? Hope all's well with you. What are your thoughts on the Star Wars sequels? Do you have all day? No, I kind of got into it earlier. Honestly, I'm just gonna give you like if I'm in an elevator ride, I have 30 seconds. Okay, what is your issue with the Star Wars sequels, Chris? Here you go. And the timer starts when I go. Here we go. You ready? My issue with the Star Wars sequels is there was so much promise and potential out of the gate with a fantastic movie in The Force Awakens that feels a lot like A New Hope and creates its own new thing while still paying homage to the originals. It gets completely derailed with The Last Jedi and then ends with no real sense of direction. It felt meaningless in the end. A lot of characters were wasted and there was wasted potential through and through. It's visually probably the best looking Star Wars trilogy, but in the end, the story and characters and everything was so flawed that it really took away any enjoyment as a Star Wars fan. It tried to ruin what we all love about Star Wars. There you go. All right. Did you play the Last of Us games? And if so, are you curious how they at Part 2? I did play the Last of Us games this year in January. It doesn't even feel that long ago, but it was at the same time. I played the first game before the before not the show. Yeah, before the show. It wasn't a movie. It was a show. Played the first game before the show so that I could sort of be in the know and see how they adapted it. And I'm glad I did because I still prefer the game, but the show was amazing. And I thought it made certain aspects its own. I am curious to see how they adapt Part 2. No spoilers, of course, but they're saying Part 2 is going to be multiple seasons. And I think that's warranted. Really curious to see how they handle the character Abby. That's all I'll say. Really curious. And then more so how people who haven't played the game, who became fans of the show, which is a lot of people, react to her character and certain events that unfold regarding her character. Really interested to see how that goes down. Am I excited for Marvel Spider-Man 2? Absolutely. Very excited for it. I'm sort of slowly working my way through a replay of the OG Spider-Man, the remastered version on PS5 on my Twitch. I haven't Twitched in a while. Tonight might be a night to Twitch stream, honestly. We'll see. But regardless, yeah, I'm excited. I think it looks amazing, and I've pondered with the idea of making a video about it. Actually, I've talked about like one or two video games on my channel. I think the Lego Skywalker Saga and like one more, but we'll see. Potentially, I could dabble with that if you guys would be interested. Let me know. All right, we got a super chat from Thomas. Do you think you'll watch Nimona and Pinball: The Man Who Saved the Game? I think you asked me this in the last stream, and I said I'd never really heard of either film. I'm going to look up the Pinball movie right now. I cannot confidently say I will watch either of those films because, again, I've got this TV watch list that's insane right now. Let me look both the movies up just because, let's see, Nimona with Chloe Grace Moretz as a voice actor and Riz Ahmed. It's an hour 41. And it looks, I think someone had mentioned, it looks like it's in the arcane style of animation. So that possibly. but unlikely to be real. And Pinball, The Man Who Saved the Game, stars. Oh wow! I didn't know that Mike Feist was in it. He plays Riff in the new West Side Story, and he's a great singer. So that intrigues me to maybe watch that, actually. So I'm not opposed. It's just those movies aren't going to be high on my watch list, if I'm being completely honest with you. But possibly, and I could add to the 2023 films that I've seen. That's not out of the question here, but of the two, I think I'm more intrigued in that Pinball one because of the cast now, like you just mentioned. All right. Where was I? The constant struggle of trying to find where I was in the chat. I was somewhere. I know that much. I was somewhere in the chat. Okay, answered that one. I'm really looking forward to David Fincher's The Killer. I hope it's. Is it more action or is it more dark thriller? This seems like it's gonna be more of an action movie based on what I've heard. But what do I know? I can't tell. They haven't really marketed the movie, and I think the poster has me thinking we're getting a trailer like really, really soon, honestly, which is exciting. It's exciting times. Okay, I'm just doing this so I can find my spot in the chat. All right. Okay, I think I found where I was. How do I feel about Shawshank? It's an all-timer. It's an all-timer. One of those movies that, like, I remember vividly. I was at my grandpa's house. It was on TV on like AMC, the cable network, and I was like, "Oh, let me just watch this for a second." And then like 2 hours passed, and it was like, "Oh, I watched the whole thing." Great movie. All right. Sting is super overrated. I have no comment because I haven't seen it. Keep Watch Burn, Frozen, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Spider-Man: Homecoming. Of those three, I think Homecoming is the most rewatchable movie, so I'll keep that. I'll watch Dead Reckoning and burn Frozen, just because I don't see myself watching Frozen much. I'll listen to the soundtrack though. Sean says, yeah, there's definitely a strange energy when you admit you haven't seen a classic. Like you lose some credibility, but we all have those blind spots. We've all missed stuff. That's a very great way to put it. It does. It feels like you're being like, oh, you can't, like, my opinion's invalid or anything because I haven't seen the Exorcist, for example. I haven't seen The Exorcist, and everyone's like, what? Horror blind spot. But in reality, it's like everybody has those movies or shows, and no one will ever be able to say they've seen everything. No one. It's impossible. So many things are always coming out. There's always going to be that one thing you haven't seen. And so it's like we're always chasing. We're always chasing that next movie or show to watch. And it's a never-ending cycle. It's exciting. You know, you get to watch something good all the time, hopefully, if you got that long list. But then you're like, I haven't seen this. It's frustrating at times, but I try to look at it through like a lens of I'm excited for this watch list. I've heard the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy is absolutely goated again. Multiple people, I made that video, they were like, you got to watch it. So it's on the list. Football season is starting, though, and my time will be occupied on Saturday for a while, for 13 weeks, I guess. All right. I haven't seen the Lego movies. I've seen part of the first one in a school class, but again, I just haven't seen it. And with a lot of the animated movies too, it's like I look at when they came out and I look at where I was in life, and it's like I was a freshman in high school in 2014, and so I was like, I just don't care, whatever. It's an animated movie, you know. Now, obviously, I would probably check it out if it came out today, but yeah. Favorite movie poster of all time? In this room, I've got the Back to the Future poster is one of the most, like, the cleanest classic posters out there. You've got the DeLorean door, Marty looking down, and the tire flame tracks. That's a clean one. The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood poster is like an homage to, or it's like a referencing like that classic era. But in reality, I would say there's just a few simple posters that work. The Jaws poster, the Jurassic Park poster, these clean, simple posters that just work. Those are some of my favorites for me. Favorite horror movie? I'll give you my top three. I've said this a million times, but I'm just going to give you my top three. And they're all from different eras. Psycho, Scream, Saw. It's like almost the three S's. There's a P in there, but that sound. Do I watch The Boys? I do. I really dig The Boys. Looking forward to Gen V, which, by the way, comes out in September. So we are getting some television in September. We're getting what is it called? We're getting The Continental the Continental, and then we're getting that Gen V. Those are like within a week of each other, I want to say. So that's neat. Who's a better Joker? Heath Ledger. But I've talked about this really recently too, and I know I get asked this one a lot. But Heath Ledger is a better Joker, but Joaquin, I think, portrays a character who, like, we witness his sort of descent into madness over the course of the film, and they're vastly different. Obviously, we all know Ledger has Batman to play off of, but I do think the more I just think on this, and I struggle with answering this, I think I still have to go Heath Ledger. It's tough though. What opinion do you get the most hate for? Oh man. Water break. You guys know me, drinking water, staying hydrated. I would honestly say I don't know off the top of my head. There's a lot. There's a lot, and I know if you guys have been in here a while, you'll probably also know there's a lot. But I'm trying to pinpoint just one. I don't know if I can do that. What's opinion? I think a lot of people do take an issue with my take on the Avatar films. So probably that. In recent memory, a lot of people are upset with my opinion on Blue Beetle, which I just gave my honest review. I honestly, that's one of my favorite reviews where I'm in terms of myself reviewing movies, I feel like I've gotten so much more comfortable doing them over the past 2 years in particular. For a while, I was just struggling with it, but I've kind of lately just been like, I'm just going to roll with this, and I'm just going to say what's like fully on my mind and just do this thing. And with Blue Beetle, I did that, and I like the way the review turned out, and people aren't happy with it. But that recent one, people are like, "What?" Like, I didn't say I hate Blue Beetle ever. That's the thing. And Sean, I don't know if you're still in here, but I know you've talked about it, and a lot of other creative talked about it. It's like we live in a world. I know Chris Stuckman's talked about this for years too. It's like whenever you give your opinion on a movie, people online will take that and they'll translate it, what you say, into either loving or hating it. There is no middle ground. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people just want to know if they want to say, oh, he loves it, oh, he hates it. There's no middle ground. And I tried to even touch on that in that review, to be honest, but that's kind of an answer recently is Blue Beetle. People did not like my opinion on that one. You should watch Only Murders in the Building. Season 3 so far has been a huge letdown, but the first season is arguably the greatest season of television ever. Wow. High praise right there. I've heard that it's a charming little show. I've never given it a shot. I would have to add it. I think it's actually on my list. I think I have 30 TV shows on my watch list right now. 30. Will I ever get to all of them? Probably not. But Succession's really high on that list right now. I might even start that one tonight. My other friends really convinced me to watch The Sopranos. I've seen one episode years ago. So those two are fighting it out for which one's next on my TV watch list. But yeah. Sean says covering weekly is tough. I know it. I don't usually like to do it. There's few shows where it works really well, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Like if I had been reviewing, I started my YouTube channel about a month after Game of Thrones season 8. If I had my channel with season 8 of Game of Thrones, 6 episodes, and they're all like events, I would have easily done a review of each episode. If Stranger Things dropped weekly, I would easily do that. But with a show like Ahsoka or the MCU shows, or really all the Star Wars shows, it almost functions better to just talk about it holistically instead of on a individual episode to episode basis. And so that's why I probably will, I did the early review of the show, which was like a little teaser of the show, but I think moving forward, I'll probably just do and a sort of a recap video, maybe not even, maybe just like included in a ranking of the Star Wars Disney Plus shows where I can give my full thoughts there. Cause it's weird. Like I feel like I've already done a review of Ahsoka. It's technically episodes 1 and 2, but then if I review it all, it'll just be interesting. We'll see. I may give it a go and try a review. Am I going to watch future Avatar movies? Strongly considering not, but I have probably 5 to 7 years to decide. So we'll see how I'm feeling in 5 to 7 years. Thomas says, have you started Silo? If so, what did you think? Still haven't started it. That's actually in contention again. Let me literally pull up this TV watch list for you guys. So it's called TV shows, TV watch list. It's Succession, Sopranos. Yeah, Silo's on there. Shrinking is on there. So both of those are on there. It's just about me committing to one. I'm still watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is like my nightly routine right now, is like that show while I go to bed. Football's around the corner. I've been watching a lot of that. That's going to take up my time. And so it comes down to, what do I want to watch on the weeknight? And I like to usually watch a sitcom to like chill out. So maybe Shrinking is what I start with, but I need to watch Silo too. And then it comes down to, if I'm with Cam, like, will I get her on board with this show? Because we watch a lot of things together. And so I don't want to go, oh, I'm going to go watch this, you watch your show. Like, I want to watch stuff together too. So Silo, I think, would be one she would probably like, though. So that might be a pitch. I go, hey Cam, let's watch Silo. My parents liked it. My friend liked it. The live chat likes it. So that might be a fun one. We shall see. All right. Thank you for the super chats, by the way, Thomas. It's been an hour. These live streams go by so fast. It's been an hour and 5 minutes. I cannot believe it. Can't do it. We'll do it live. All right. One second. Trying to find a question. All right. Where was I? I literally, hold on one second. I got to find my spot. Okay. This I have answered. So now I found my spot. Honestly, I'd rate every season probably a 10 out of 10. I love it so much. I don't even care. And I appreciate the support. What's the worst movie of 2023? Megan. If you know that reference. We were watching the right shows growing up, to say the least. But no, what else was bad this year? I watched another stinker. I don't even remember. 65 was bad. I have not seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. You should eventually watch War of the Worlds too. I know you want me to watch that one. When I watch that, you'll be my first call after the movie. Let's say that. I plan to watch it eventually. It's on the watch list. I know that's like a cop-out answer. Oh, it's on the watch list. But it's truly on the watch list if I say it. It's on there. So I'll get to it eventually. Super chat from Detective Cobra. Are you excited for Challengers? Or is it called Challengers with Zendaya? I know what you're talking about. It's also got Mike faced in it. It's like a tennis movie, but like a love triangle type movie. I'm intrigued. It got delayed to April. It was going to come out, I think, in September or October, but it got delayed to April. I will check it out probably, because I know Cam will probably want to see that one. And I'm intrigued. I can't say I'm like excited, but the plot was intriguing enough. I want to see how they handle it. Looked like they were going to have a time jump at one point. I'm curious to see how that goes down. And it's Luca Guadagnino, who did Call Me by Your Name and Bones and All. This seems like more of a commercial movie, mainstream almost. Like, I'm very intrigued. That's the only word I got for you. Opinions, not facts. Thank you for the super chat. All right. Let's keep going for a bit. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying my time. By the way, if you guys are in here, hit that like button. Helps out quite a bit. If you're on the replay, hit that like button. And let's keep it rolling. All right. I was somewhere in the chat. Where was I? I swear, I wish that I could. That's the one thing I always lose, is my spot in the chat. How much do you think Deadpool 3 will be delayed? I think it'll get delayed probably to 2025. Hopefully I don't think it comes out next year, if that's what you're asking. I just don't see that happening, unfortunately. But anything's possible, I guess. Would you ever make a tier list of the James Bond franchise? I would. I have the Blu-ray set over there. I've seen all the Craig films. I've seen a handful from each other Bond. It would require me to do a watch through of them all. And I don't see myself doing that until the next Bond comes out. So when that happens, I will probably hold myself accountable and actually watch them all. I was going to do it for No Time to Die, but I think I got sick. And I was like sick in the theater. Like I didn't have COVID or anything, but I had a cold. And it was unpleasant when I went and saw that movie. Oh, cold, like bad cold where it like hurts in the back of your throat. Brutal. But I did see No Time to Die in theaters, obviously. I would do a watch through of the Bond for the next Bond movie. All right. Let's see. I answered this one. keep going for a second here. Ooh, that's difficult. I've never seen My Girl with Macaulay Culkin. The only Macaulay Culkin movies I've seen, I think, are Home Alone 1 and 2. I'm so serious. I don't know if I've seen anything else. Detective Cobra says, do you think next summer and March will be as good? As what? Is the real question here. As good as this previous? As good as, like, this year? That's what I'll compare it to. I think a lot of this is up in the air. It just depends on the strike. It depends on if the studios end up paying the actors and writers fairly and resolving all of that. If not, and they continue delaying things, there's no way that next summer in March will be as good. The slate right now has a lot of potential. I very briefly looked at it, but Deadpool 3, Dune Part 2 is in March now. You've got the Godzilla movie somewhere in there. There's a ton of stuff escaping my mind right now, but there's a lot of big movies scheduled to come out next year. But will they actually? I don't know. So as of right now, I would say no. I don't think next March or summer will be as good because there's too many question marks. There's too many question marks. So no, I don't think, because this has been a really great year for movies. To me, I think there's been a lot of wins. There've been some misses, but I go Oppenheimer, Guardians 3, Across the Spider-Verse, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, Talk to Me, which was, the A24 horror movie. I liked Scream 6. I liked a Little Mermaid live action remake. There's a lot of wins this year. So I really don't know. I don't think it's going to top. I think this year will end up topping next year in terms of March and summer, but it just depends. I'm doing good, Andrew. How about yourself? Well, you said you were fine, I guess, so I'm glad to hear you're fine. Do you find Saw sometimes hard to watch? I personally can't watch it as much as I like to because it's gory, grisly for my liking. Yeah, I definitely am disturbed by certain elements of those movies. The later you go, the first movie is the tamest to me. The further you get, we're talking Saw 4, we'll go Saw. Oh my gosh, actually, pretty much every Saw movie has a moment where you're gonna wince and be like, "That is like it's just part of it." But I don't find them hard to watch. I find them disturbing at times, but it's not like hard to watch. Like I do like this, like that, but it's not like I have to close my eyes or anything, if that makes sense. But it is like it's a tough watch at times, to say the least, especially the later you get in that franchise. The seventh Saw film in particular has the one, to me, there's a trap, and it involves the lead singer of Rest in Peace of Linkin Park. I don't want to say it's Chester Bennington, I believe is his name. That trap, I just gave myself the heebie-jeebies thinking about it. But that is like a big draw of the Saw movies. But I truly love about the first Saw is the sort of mystery side of things, the thriller side of things, and the reveals. Every Saw movie's got a reveal, and it kind of becomes a fun game of like, what are they going to retcon next? So that's my sort of thoughts on that. Okay. All right. All right. After rewatching The Dark Knight Rises, I can confidently say it's better than The Dark Knight. I still go The Dark Knight, but I will say The Dark Knight Rises I think is a better movie than Batman Begins. And I don't know, when I go online on certain pockets of like film media or film Twitter or whatever, I'll see it'll literally say that is the worst Christopher Nolan movie. I'm not even kidding. People will be like, this is the worst Christopher Nolan movie. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? It's crazy to me. So never understood that. Never understood the hate for that movie, and I never will, and that's okay. There's some movies where I'm like, I won't. I'll never understand the hate, and that's one of them. Andor's peak Disney Plus. You no argument from me. No argument from me. What movies do you plan on seeing next week? I've never seen a My Big Fat Greek Wedding movie. I know the first one was super profitable. I know there was a second, but they're getting a trilogy. Next week, I believe I may see The Nun 2, but I cannot confirm or deny that just because I'd have to do a little bit more homework. I haven't finished that full franchise fully. All right, let's see. Have you watched We're the Millers? I've never, have I logged out on Letterboxd? Let me go check. So We're the Millers is interesting because I've seen so many parts of that movie on television, but I've never fully watched it. But I've seen enough of the movie to like know how it ends and all that. So I've kind of seen it. I need to watch it like in one sitting, and I may do that soon, honestly, because I love Sudeikis. It's got Jennifer Aniston, Will Poulter. It's a great cast, honestly. Why didn't we get a sequel? That's what I'm now wondering. Regardless, I know enough about the movie, and I missed that era of those comedies. I think that came out in 2013. Let me check. I have it pulled up. It came out in 2013. Yeah, so that era was just something special, honestly. I've never read a Dune book, Andrew. I don't know if I ever will, to be honest. I just don't know. I will watch the movies, though. I'll watch the movies. I just don't think I'll ever read the books. I've never been a huge book reader. I've kind of been vocal about that. So I don't think I'll watch them. When the movie itself is a lot to take in, I don't know if I want to read the book. Maybe I'll watch a YouTube video explaining everything, though. All right. Favorite trilogy of all time? The original trilogy. The original Star Wars trilogy is my favorite trilogy of all time. Easily. What is the movie you're embarrassed to own? So what's the one DVD or Blu-ray you're embarrassed to own? So I own it and I'm embarrassed by it? I don't really think I'm embarrassed to own any movies, honestly. I wouldn't buy it if I was really embarrassed. I guess I technically own every MCU movie until Far From Home. Where's my collection? Oh no, I own it through Shang-Chi. Or no, damn, I own through No Way Home. So after No Way Home, I haven't bought a Blu-ray for the MCU. However, I'm not embarrassed to own the worst MCU. Like I own Captain Marvel. I'm not embarrassed about it. I own Incredible Hulk. I'm not embarrassed about it. I honestly wouldn't buy a movie if I was like, damn, I can't own that. So I'm gonna say that. That's my answer. Kind of a weird answer, but there you have it. You and Cam should watch We're the Millers. I think she's fully seen the movie. Again, I swear I watched like most of it on FX one time. So I probably would be like, oh, I've actually seen this movie whenever I do end up going back to it. But we'll see. Water break. Cheers. Oh, yeah, Tristan, good point. Question earlier in the chat saying, what's a movie opinion or hot take that people gave you the most hate for? Transformers Rise of the Beast is probably number one, alongside some other things. But Transformers Rise of the Beast, oh man, the Transformers fandom couldn't handle it that I didn't like the movie. And that's probably top 5 most like hate, I guess, that's been thrown at me for a video. Will I be doing a Q&A on Wednesday? That's the plan. That's the plan. Wow. Keep Watch Burn, Jaws 2. Well, I haven't seen Jaws 2. Jurassic World Dominion in 65. Wow. I think I still burn 65. I watched Jaws 2. I'm actually going to keep Jaws 2 sight unseen. I haven't even seen this movie and I'm keeping it because I have more faith in it. I'll watch Dominion and burn 65. Do you have a favorite John Wick movie? Chapter 4. Ooh. One of the best movies of the year, honestly. Like legit top 2 or 3 movie of the year. For me, at least. Zach Pope in the house. What's good, Zach? How you doing, man? Welcome in. What's the one thing you need to happen in Stranger Things 5? Here's what I need in Stranger Things 5 off the top of my head. I need one final badass remix of a song, maybe even remixed with the main Stranger Things theme. And I want it to almost be Avengers Endgame, like, and I'm not saying a battle, but I want to see our main character, like our group of main characters, you know, Hopper and Joyce, and then the young kids, and then Steve and them, all running together, almost like into battle, like towards Vecna or something. Like think in season 4 when we got the Running Up That Hill remix, and we had Hopper pick up the sword, taking on Demogorgon. We had, you know, Nancy and them throwing the Molotov cocktails at Vecna, and then we had the 11 also fighting Vecna. Think that, but they're all together. I need one final send off to these characters where they're like they're fighting, they're putting their life on the line, something like that with great music. I'm so ready, dude. I am so ready. Oh man, I'm doing good. How about you? Welcome in. Well, I hope you feel better. Being sick is never fun, so I hope you feel better. Let's see. Robert in the house. Got room for one more? I mean, possibly. Let's see. Are there any interesting biographical films coming out in the future? We're getting a Bob Marley biopic, I believe. But other than that, I don't really have any others on my radar. Let's see. Champ Nation, how you doing? Robert again, and what's good, Robert? Odd question, but do you prefer saunas or cold water immersion? So you're asking me cold water plunge or a steam room to like relax? I think I'm going to go cold water plunge. A cold shower, like if you've been working out and you need to like heal your muscles, they say the cold water plunge or like the cold shower is actually better for you. So I honestly think I would say cold water plunge. I've never done like in an ice tank, like a freezing cold like tub of water. But if I turn the shower water all the way to cold, that's still pretty chilly and it'll like shock you almost. So I'm gonna go with that. A sauna, I don't want to sweat even more. I don't want to be that unpleasant, you know. So I mean, yeah, that would be yeah. Let me hold on one second. All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep this thing going. By the way, 50 people in here. Batman Begins is my favorite trilogy, just my least favorite, but it's not a bad movie. Anyhow. Two Towers is my favorite Lord of the Rings movie. Least favorite for me, pretty easily. But still, I like it. And the Battle of Helm's Deep. 1 second. All right. Batman and Robin is the worst Batman movie. That's a fact. That's a fact right there. Keep Watch Burn, Shang-Chi, Onward, and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. That's tough. I think I'm keeping Rogue Nation because I love that Mission Impossible movie. I think I'll watch Onward so that I can cry, and then I'll burn Shang-Chi, I guess. But I still like Shang-Chi. I liked it a lot more in the moment, and then like I haven't really thought about it as much since, unfortunately. It stinks because I wanted to. I mean, like I still really like Shang-Chi, don't get me wrong, but I haven't watched it in 2 years. And I may have to rewatch it soon, but we'll see. What's your favorite Fantastic Four film? The first Fantastic Four film from 2005. That one, with the first one with Ian Grufford. All right. All right, I'll probably take one or two more and then wrap it. Oh, shoot, hold up. We might have someone joining. We might have someone joining. I gotta put my headphones on. Hold the front door. All right, we're keeping this thing going. All right, let me put my headphones in. We will do it live. All right, I am inviting a guest in the middle of this thing. So let me get this going. Copy link. Everyone stay put. We're not ending the stream anytime soon. Let me open this, and we will be adding a guest very momentarily to this stream. If it will let me log into my Instagram, so stay put. But fire off your questions. We're about to have a guest on the show, on the Film Stock Live, the first Film Stock Live show guest, because it's technically still not like a Q&A, but let's do this thing. Let me go to my messages and search this person up that I'm about to invite on. We will be golden. All right. Okay. Let me put these on. All right. We are waiting on the guest to join now. Hopefully that link works. And then we'll keep this thing going. We're going to keep this damn thing going. At an hour 24, though, if you guys are in here, hit the like button. And we're gonna keep it going. We got our guest right now. Joining us, special guest.
Zach. What's up, man? What's up, dude? How you guys doing? Hey, man. Thank you.
I'm
excited. Thanks, dude. This is technically the first time I guess most people will see it. It's almost done. The reason the camera's tilted is because there's like a indent for like a shelf that the shelf has not arrived yet. So
okay, yeah.
We're waiting for that. But yeah, dude, I saw you were live and I was like, you know what? I'm off today. I'm gonna try and get his attention to get in here and crash this party. So I like the topic too, most anticipated for the rest of the year because there's still a lot to come out. Hopefully,
yeah. I'm honestly skeptical about a few things. Like we were talking about this, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, do you think there's any way Aquaman 2 comes out this year? I don't.
I'm honest with you right now. Okay, yeah. I don't think it comes out at all. I think they tax write it off. That's where I'm at right now. Full disclosure, I know 3 people who have seen the movie. I know someone saw the very first test screening ever before they had done changes. Then they went back and they saw it again, and it's just declined every time. The changes have been like minimal, but it's a lot. And at this point, you just cut your losses. You know, that's where I'm at. Like, I want to see it. I'm not hyped. But I don't think it comes out this year. They're not even marketing the thing.
They haven't. Yeah, that's what I said. They literally don't even have a poster. It's almost September. It comes out in December. I honestly, I would be fine if they bomb.
Unless they just don't care.
That's the thing, dude. Like, no one cares about DC right now. Like, even if it's a decent movie. Like,
I mean, the marketing was awful for Blue Beetle. I think Blue Beetle would have done a lot better if they marketed it, at least.
Yeah.
The Flash, they tried. I just think people were kind of over it at that point. But like even Shazam, like I don't even think they marketed Shazam well. I think Shazam could have done a little bit better. Yeah. I think Warner Brothers marketing has been awful.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's very rare. Like I'll tell you right now, I didn't think Barbie's marketing was perfect. The reason it did exceed and have is because people were interested in the film, so they didn't really need to market it all too much. Same thing with Robert Pattinson's Batman. I didn't think the marketing was too great for that. The trailers were awesome, but like actually getting the word out, their best marketing campaign in a while was Dune. That was the last one where I was like, they went all out with this thing. So I don't know, man. But I did not see Aquaman coming out. I don't even see it coming out at all. I'm being serious. I think they're gonna cut their losses.
That would be wild, honestly. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to it because I don't even really want to watch the movie. Like I said in this chat, I was like, I'm gonna see it because I feel like I have to see every new DC movie. But in reality, I just don't really care, and it makes no sense to me why they moved Dune because I believe it had 6 weeks.
Dune should have done December. Dune should have been in December if they were gonna move it, but. You know why I think they don't, and this is just another theory. I think Netflix is really gonna try and get Rebel Moon into a wide release, and I think if you put Dune, God forbid Rebel Moon does that, and it does really well, then it affects Dune because both sci-fi, grand epics, and stuff like that. So, and don't count it out. I know a lot of people who are really excited for Rebel Moon, so I think there's a big difference there. I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with the strikes. I think the studios are honestly trying to leverage a lot of these films, especially the bigger ones.
Yeah.
The only reason we'll end up seeing the Marvels probably this year is because Dune moved. It was one of the 2 that were going to move, and now Captain Marvel 2 has this wide variety of open land.
But what do you think about this movie? I haven't really heard your thoughts on it. Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, do you have any experience with the games or anything? Or
yes, so I have actually played the first 3 games, not fully through. I've just played them. There's a lot of great jump scares. I've seen the rumor that it's 3 hours long, which I'm not versed into the lore, but like I have a friend who super is, and he tried explaining it to me, and it is a lot. Like, there's actually a lot to the games that I did not know. So if it's 3 hours of actual good material and good character buildup and good lore, I could see it working. I don't see it being 3 hours though. Maybe hour 45, maybe 2 hours. Maybe 2 hours at the max. But
I think hour 45 tops for a movie like that.
Yeah.
If you go even over 2 at that point, it's like, what are we doing here? Like I heard about the lore a little bit, and I've played like a snippet of the game with my friends a long time ago. But even then, I just don't see a movie with that premise working as a 3-hour thing. Even Chapter 2 was almost 3 hours, and that movie was way too damn long, in my opinion.
You think so? I love 2. I love
Chapter 2.
Yeah, okay. I love 2. It's there's a couple instances in there where I was like, hey, you probably could have cut this. Because I wanted them to follow the books a little bit more and get a little bit weird. Like, I don't know how much you're versed into the books, but like there's a giant
I've never read
turtle. Oh, well, there's like a giant talking turtle in the books. Wow. That's like the creator of the universe, and like Pennywise is afraid of him. Wow. That's why there's like a lot of turtle references in the movie.
Oh, okay.
But I really wanted them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't going to because it's too out there, but it's there. That's what I would have rather had them do, is get the turtle involved. But
yeah, the thing I remember, because I've only seen the movie once, that bothered me was like, I think for like an hour of the movie, it was like following each character going to, they were like going to retrieve like an object or something.
Yep.
And
that was the part that died.
Yeah. I wish that they were all together for more of the movie.
I agree, because their chemistry was so freaking good. Like every single one of them. It's like their chemistry was just like firing on all cylinders. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. I'm interested though. I'm excited. If I were to do like top 10 for the rest of the year, I think Five Nights would be at like number 11 or 12, like right outside the top 10. So
it's at like 8 for me, I think. Just because
what's your number one
Hutcherson.
For the rest of the year? Yeah, what's your number 1 for the rest of the year?
My number 1 for the rest of the year, I'm calling it right now. Saw X.
Really?
Really.
I've heard the test screenings were good for that. So hopefully,
I love that reaction too, because a lot of people are like, "What?" when I say it, but it's like that horror franchise.
Dude, that trailer, I was like, because Spiral, I liked Spiral, but it was just like the same stuff.
I know what you mean.
And then like I see this trailer and I'm like, okay, please don't be another Spiral. Like this looks different. Because mine would have been Dune. I'm shocked. Well, I mean, you're doing this after Dune was announced. I did my video before Dune was. My thing, I think mine would be either Killers of the Flower Moon or Poor Things right now. Because I'm huge on Scorsese and Yorgos Lanthimos. But who knows what's even coming out. But, you know, Saw is for sure coming out. That doesn't even need actor interviews or anything. It just needs Jigsaw's face and all that.
You put one trailer out there, a poster, and people will flock to see it. It's going to make its money back. And the fact that it's like a prequel set between 1 and 2, I think that's what has me excited.
It's interesting. It's interesting that they're able to do it. I'm just curious, like, what's the end game to that then? Like, if this does really well, are we going to keep doing these in between sequels? Are we not? Is it going to parallel? Like, I wonder if part of the film takes place after all the events.
Like a Better Call Saul scenario or something.
Yeah, kind of like that. Which that would be the way that I would love it. Because Better Call Saul just did that like perfectly. But I don't know, man. It's very interesting to me. I was not excited for it, but I am now. I'm very excited for it now.
I'll say this regarding Killers of the Flower Moon. That's my number 2 or 3. Like I think I had Dune. It was like Saw X, and then I think Killers of the Flower Moon and Dune. So now Killers of the Flower Moon is number 2. Very, very excited for that. And I don't know if, well, I think people have seen the movie, right? Didn't it premiere at one of the big festivals?
Yeah, it premiered at Cannes, and it like great buzz for it. I'm very excited for it. I've stayed away. Like I haven't even seen a trailer for it. I'm trying to do a little bit better. Like if I can't do a trailer reaction for something, I'm like, I'm just not even going to watch the trailer then.
Yeah.
I don't even want to see anything. Like Rebel Moon was that way. I haven't seen a single frame for the film, just images. And that's how I'm probably just going to go into the movie too, because I don't know, like I've noticed recently that trailers just like, especially by the second one, gives the whole film, or at least every like shot of the movie to a different degree. So like I'll be sitting there being like, okay, where's this shot at? Like I remember at the back of my head, like there's this scene, like a Dial of Destiny had that when they're jumping out of the plane. The whole time I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, so now they're in the plane, so it must be coming up soon.
Yeah.
So I know the movie's been out. But
they should not have put that shot in the trailer.
No, especially when you look at it now, you're like, wait, the things are in the water. Like you can totally tell like what it is. So I don't know. There's a lot. Marvel was the same way. I wish I never saw a Thor: Love and Thunder trailer, because I thought the trailer gave every instance of that movie away.
I mean, and honestly, I think Marvel's gotten bad ever since, I'd say, like 2021, with revealing way too much in trailers.
No Way Home was the last best one they did.
Yeah, because they hid everything, the CGI stuff out. The damn what was it? It was Black Widow. That trailer revealed the entire movie.
The entire movie, yeah.
Which was a bummer.
That. Shang-Chi, they kind of started doing the same stuff with the final fight.
Yep. They showed literally him fighting Wenwu at the end.
I think Eternals did a decent job, but like at the same point, like I kind of could tell Icarus was bad from the trailer, like, and I knew they were gonna flip it because in the comics it's Druig that's the bad one. I'll give credit. The Flash did not show. At least the trailers I saw didn't show a lot. So I'll give credit where that is due. Blue Beetle did the same thing. Sticking in the realm like the Marvels. I've only seen the first teaser. I did not watch that next one. Okay. I was like, but I know a little bit more about that film, but I was just like, I don't want to know anything. There's a lot, like Deadpool. I've kind of gone back and forth on if I'm gonna watch the trailer. I'll watch the first one, but I don't know if I'll watch anything else after that. I want to be surprised.
Yeah, I don't. I'm kind of like, it's kind of,
there's too much going on the internet already. Like,
and
I wish I never saw the images behind the scenes.
I don't like that I saw the 20th Century Fox logo.
Yep, that's the one.
I don't like that I saw that. Yeah, because that might reveal that they're gonna have this whole, like the Void from like Loki. People are saying,
this Void, and that's what I would imagine. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised now if Tom Hiddleston shows up, or if Deadpool is in Loki for just a split second. Like, I'm not expecting it, but like I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
And then, like, didn't they officially announce Jennifer Gardner is in it?
Yes, as Elektra.
And she's probably going to be in it for a minute or two.
Yeah, maybe 2 seconds, you know?
Why? Why are we announcing... Now, again, maybe the journalist had, like, hey, we know Gardner's in this, but we also know Downey Jr. is in this film.
Yeah.
You get one or the other. Which one you want us to say? And
exactly.
It would be Elektra, but... I don't know. It's like, it gets me worried for Secret Wars, man. Like, we're going to know every damn rumor, like, Endgame and Infinity War were, like, such good surprise. And even No Way Home, like, we knew they were in there, but we didn't know. It was, like, that slight undoubtfulness that we were like, they might not be in this film. And
like, we saw the leaks, and it was like, they could be photoshopped. It might not be real. And then we go to the movie and like we see them and it's awesome, but like we didn't see the reveal of them. Like we just saw a picture of them. So there was still, like you said, there was like uncertainty, but with reports, it's like, oh, I guess Jennifer Garner's
exactly. I had someone before No Way Home release, they sent me an image of all the villains in Doctor Strange's lair, like un-CGI, just like really badly. And I saw that, and then they sent me another one that were like really messy CGI versions of Toby and Andrew. And this was like a year before. Like after they had done filming, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know if this is true. Like anyone could make this. And then as I'm watching the film, I saw that scene with them all in the jail and I'm like,
yep.
All right, yeah, this is real. I'm like more 99.9% sure Toby and Andrew are going to show up in here somehow.
I had seen like the photos of Defoe and Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx. Like I had seen them circulating and someone at the time had sent it to me and I was like, I don't buy it. And then you see that in the movie and it's like, okay, they probably are. And Matt Murdock coming in early, it's like,
oh okay, yeah, that
he's probably. I was like, the Spider-Men are coming.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I want more surprises because what do we have next year? We have Captain America, as of right now, Captain America, Deadpool, Thunderbolts. Am I missing a film? Or is
Blade? I don't think that one's coming out. I think that's getting scrapped.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think with Ali, it's getting scrapped. Because
Affleck's Daredevil being in Deadpool 3.
Oh, if he's not in it, I'd be shook. I'd be absolutely shocked. My theory is that I think we're gonna go, and maybe this has been out there. My theory is that they're going back to that world that Doctor Strange was in, where the Illuminati had died, and I think it's a new realm of Illuminati. So it'd probably be Elektra, Daredevil, maybe a Magneto, or someone else from the X-Men. Something of that nature is going to bring them there. But Ben Affleck's Daredevil, I think, will be in it for sure.
I do too. Like Elektra pretty much confirms that. And
I think anyone from Fox, like Channing Tatum, he didn't get his dues, but I think we'll see him. Like I'd be kind of shocked.
Oh yeah, you're right. People have been saying Gambit's probably going to pull up.
Yeah, I'm trying to. For me though, I still want it to be a Deadpool film because I love one. One is one of my favorite comic book films. The second one though, I've just like not loved it as much. Like I just felt like they tried to do too much.
Mhm.
And the core relationship between Vanessa and Deadpool are like the biggest aspect of that first film. And I know she's coming back, but in what capacity is she?
Mhm.
And then like at the same point, like they said Domino's not coming back. They said Cable's not coming back.
I wanted to
That's
back
weird.
too. Yeah.
It's weird that both of them wouldn't come back, but like isn't Peter coming back, the guy with the mustache?
Yes.
So that like that why them?
I don't know.
Like not Domino or Cable. Like maybe
they're lying to us, but I hope not.
Yeah, like it's very weird because like the best parts of Deadpool 2 were Cable and Domino, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So not the little kid. Do not bring back Julian or whatever that
super
kid.
irritating.
Do not like kid's really good in a Hunt for the Wilder People, but do not bring him back in any capacity for anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good off that. I think for Deadpool 3, and then I saw a question here I want to answer. I think Deadpool 3 needs to focus on being all about Deadpool, like you said, but almost putting to bed the Fox universe. Like I think that would be, and I think they're going to. I think that 20th century.
I think this will. To be honest with you, I think what they'll do is obviously Deadpool will come in the MCU. That's how the film's going to end. This will be our Deadpool.
Yeah,
but I've seen rumors going around and people like theorizing that after Secret Wars it's a clear reset, but like actors will stay, but a lot of it will just reset from the beginning. And I fully believe they'll do that. It's really hard for them to bring in the X-Men right now. So I think I wouldn't be shook if we see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine come into the MCU, maybe a couple other X-Men. That way we have them for Secret Wars. By the end of Secret Wars, they'll go back to their own timeline. Deadpool will stay. And then by the end of that, it'll be like mutants always existed on this world. And we'll get like maybe the end credit scene will be a lineup of our version of the X-Men, which would be sick. Like I'd be for that. So give that tease, and then the next phase would be like mutants versus, I don't know, the heroes, or X-Men versus the Avengers, I think is the comic. So
okay, yeah, and then Fantastic Four's out there somewhere. Like I'm interested to see what where they're headed.
Man, who are they gonna cast? I really hope it's Vanessa Kirby. I
like that pick a lot.
And do you like Joseph Quinn? I haven't seen if you've talked about that yet or not.
I do.
I do too. I like that way more than Paul Mescal.
Me too. And I don't understand. There's a lot of hate. People are like, "Oh, they can't have Eddie Munson." It's like, did you watch Stranger Things? Like he plays that sort of bad boy character really well. Obviously, he wouldn't look like Eddie Munson. They'd give him, they'd style him up to look like him.
He wouldn't do the British accent that he has. Like he would be.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and I think he would go perfect with Vanessa Kirby. Like, I don't get the Paul Mescal stuff. Like, I think he's a really good actor, but like, as Johnny, no.
And the thing I just didn't get was Driver. Adam Driver is Reed. I didn't see that.
So I don't see him visually, but I just like his performance. I just know, like, did you see White Noise?
No,
Noah Baumbach. Okay, that film kind of sold me on him being Mr. Fantastic. Okay. Weirdly enough, I don't know why, but when I saw that movie, I was like, okay, I think he can do it. Mm-hmm. I wasn't sold on Robbie though.
No, yeah, no, I think I wouldn't mind Penn Badgley as Mr. Fantastic. I think he could do it. But it's interesting. And, you know, for The Thing, that's someone that we have like no real speculation about.
No, I don't want Seth Rogen anymore though. After he just did his damn voice for Donkey Kong, nah. Like, do not do that. I was on board for Eben Moss, the guy.
Oh yeah, I'm on board with him as well.
But then like some people were like, "Oh, he could be Silver Surfer," and I'm like, "Fuck, that's a really good choice too." Like,
I love Paul Walter Hauser as The Thing. Like that's what my girlfriend
Paul
said.
Walter Hauser would be awesome, and you guys got to meet him too. I remember your guys' little
thing here on he's that. Super cool.
That's so freaking awesome. Yeah. I love that. So
I'm excited for that. As for this question, keep, watch, burn. I guess the way we'll answer it, because normally it's with movies we've already seen, would be like, what's a movie? If we burn the movie, like we'll never get to see it. If we keep the movie, we assume we'll like it enough to be able to watch it forever. And then watch the movie, you watch it once, and that's that.
That's that. Okay.
So this is tough for me because I literally said earlier in the stream, Deadpool 3 and the Batman 2 are my most anticipated movies for 24.
Thunderbolts, dude. After I watched Beef on Netflix, that is like skyrocketed. So like
is that show worth it?
Yeah, I put it off because I was kind of like, I don't know, there was like some controversies on it, so I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to watch it. But then I watched it. That show gets better and better with each episode. The ending is gonna work for some people and not. It worked for me a lot. It didn't work for like some other people I talked to, but the writer, director, cinematographer, literally that whole entire crew is making Thunderbolts. And I'm all for that. I'm like all freaking for that. So this one's tough though, because I'm keeping the Batman too. Even if it's just good, it's probably gonna be better than the other two. Like, it's Matt Reeves doing it, and then if the rumors are true on Clayface, sign me up. I sign me up. I weirdly enough though want to say I want to keep or just watch Thunderbolts and burn Deadpool.
Just never see the third Deadpool.
Yeah, just because like I want to see it, I'm excited for it, but which one do I think has the possibility to not be as good is Deadpool? And it's just because I do feel like they are doing way too much with that film. I really wanted them to do. I would rather them like they should just call. I mean, they'll probably end up changing the name Deadpool and Wolverine. That's probably going to be the title of the movie.
Yep.
I don't know with Marvel films, and I know that I'm going to contradict myself. I want more singular stuff, and I know Thunderbolts is another team up movie, but like Deadpool's more than a team up movie. It seems at this point. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. It's just. It's weird that they pushed it ahead of Captain America. Like, it went into production afterwards. Like, it just a lot of things scream to me that it's moving a little faster than I'm hoping it would.
I know what you mean, and it's the fear is the movie becomes overstuffed, and I felt as though Multiverse of Madness was a little overstuffed, and I fear that happening for this movie. I think the main goal is to make it make sense to have Deadpool come into the MCU, but at the same time, I do think the movie's tasked with, like I mentioned earlier, putting an end to the entire Fox universe in a comedic way, maybe. But then what's the story here? Like, what is Deadpool's purpose in this movie? And that's the big question.
Like, why would he be the one that brings over the Fox universe?
I have no clue.
Like I've like tried to put things together. Like, there's a TVA agent played by the guy Tom from Succession, and I'm assuming he's gonna be mixed into there. And then maybe Owen Wilson. There's been rumors he shows up. It's like, but why are you gonna trust Deadpool?
I guess that would be the way they have to go about it. Is his actions during the end credit scenes of Deadpool 2 caused, I forget what the terminology is. It was not supposed to happen in that timeline. So he gets pruned almost. And then he's in the Loki time period.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, dude, I'm hoping I'm wrong. Deadpool 3 is like my most anticipated thing of next year, but I'm more safe on Thunderbolts. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. Yeah. So I'm guessing you're keeping the Batman?
Yes. The first the Batman right here, I got the poster. That movie rules. And I'd have to say I have confidence in that more than any others here.
Yep, I agree.
So keeping that, I will watch Deadpool 3 and I burn Thunderbolts. But again, it hurts me to say that because I do have high hopes for Thunderbolts. I am just excited for the damn Yelena and Red Guardian relationship continuation.
And for them to come back. Like, Red Guardian was, like, for me, the big standout. And I hope, like, they do something with Taskmaster. I hope they do something with Bucky.
Yeah.
Who else is in it? Ghost. I love the actress who plays
John Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like I feel like there's going to be more. And then we get Stephen Yeun as Sentry. Yeah. So, like, count me in. Hopefully, I hope it's great. I hope Marvel's, like, starts to get their spill. It just seems like they can't catch a break now. COVID strike, Bob Chapek, maybe Bob Iger now. I don't know how long your stream's been going on. Did you see that like the visual effects departments are now like unionizing?
Oh wow, really?
Right? Yeah, so they might go on strike next too. So against Disney only though, against Marvel and Disney only.
Oh, okay.
From what I was reading. So yeah, that's great. So
there you have it. Anyway, are you excited for the A24 Backrooms movie? I don't know if I've heard of this. I'm looking it up on IMDb.
I feel like I got this. Oh, this one's interesting. It's about like a 17-year-old's making this movie.
Wow.
Yeah, I am. It's also being produced by Atomic Monster, which is James Wan. So
Oh shoot.
I'm interested. Yeah, it's based off like a whole YouTube thing. Like the A24 like literally like fell in love with this like YouTube viral short that like went viral. So they're just like backing it to make an actual movie of it.
Damn,
So
I love James Wan, so I am excited then.
yeah. So I'm excited for it. I'm always excited for whatever A24 does. I don't care what they do. Besides
What did you
Pixar,
think
they're
of?
my favorite movie studio.
Mhm. What did you think of Talk to Me?
I fucking loved it. I saw
I
that
did
at
too.
Sundance before they had bought it. And there's a lot of cool things. So I've grown up watching Raka Raka. So I've like loved their YouTube videos. And then when they were making the movie, like I've just been able to follow their journey on making that film. And it was funny because I didn't even know they got into Sundance because Instagram's algorithm sucks. It doesn't show everyone now if you don't like their stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, what is this movie? And then I read Raka Raka, Danny and Michael. I'm like, holy shit, their movie got into Sundance. So then that was like the must see for me, and I loved it. The ending of that film was one of my favorite endings of the year.
It
So
was incredible, man.
yeah,
I had chill. I went and
are
saw
you
it alone
excited
in
for a
the
sequel
theater.
though?
So I go back and forth. Originally, I was like, hell no. But then I was talking to my friend about it, and he made like a good point about how they could continue off the end of it into like
Yeah,
another group of characters, and I was like, I could dig that, if
yeah.
they get like a trilogy out of it.
Mhm. My friend sent me like how he would imagine it, and he like sent me like a whole like synopsis, and I was like, okay, I'm down for that. Like,
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
actually really okay with that. I just want them to make their Street Fighter film they got announced for. Because have you watched their YouTube stuff at all,
No, no.
dude? Okay, so like they make a lot of gnarly stuff, but they do a lot of action stuff. Like
Okay.
knowing them, dude, that Street Fighter film, even if the story sucks, I feel like that action is gonna be like the coolest thing we've ever seen.
Yeah.
They just I watched a podcast of them. They went to Thailand to find one of the characters that Street Fighter was inspired by out there, like some old man who's just like knows kung fu, and they found him and stuff, and just like talked to him, tried to like learn some like fighting techniques for the film. Like what are you guys doing? Like that's
I mean, they
dedication.
sound devoted right there. Like they sound
Yeah.
super devoted to that. So anytime
So
someone's that passionate, I'm
yeah,
down to watch the project.
same. And I remember James Gunn offered them something, and they said no. So I don't know what they would have done though. Maybe they offered him Swamp Thing originally.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. What do you want to see in Spider-Man 4? I want to see it happen. I don't know why this
Yeah,
hasn't been like
I don't know
in
why this is
development sooner.
film done. To be honest with you, I think it's been held up because of Tom Holland. I think Tom Holland's contract originally was so cheap,
Mm.
and you know that like they're like we want everything for him now.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with that. But I'm sure if they're doing that, Sony's probably like, we want you not for 3 more movies, we want you for the long haul. Like, because I remember when those Sony leaks happened, they always wanted like a three trilogy thing: high school, college, after college.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine that's what they're probably doing. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's also a Kevin Feige thing. Where are we using Spider-Man at? Because there's been rumors that he's going to be the main character in King Dynasty. So if he's the main character in King Dynasty, they got to work that out as well. So I don't know. I hope this one's street level though. I'm going to be absolutely pissed if that red blue suit that he had at the end in No Way Home is gone within the first few minutes. I'm going to be pissed if like Zendaya and him are back together, because I don't think she will be in the movie, but I do not think she should be. I don't even think Ned should. I think there should be one film of him by himself.
Yes.
Do Black Cat. Make Black Cat be like this antithesis to him.
Do you think that the symbiote plot will be like, because obviously there's a little bit left behind from Venom, do you think that will be tackled in Spider-Man 4 or potentially a fifth Spider-Man?
I think Secret Wars. I think just like the comics, I think that's when he gets the suit, or end of Kang Dynasty, he gets the suit, and then it leads us into Secret Wars, and then maybe he has that black suit for all of Secret Wars. Then the trilogy after that, that's where that first film kind of introduces him getting rid of the suit, Venom coming into his life, stuff like that.
Okay, I could see that. Now, talking about Tom Holland's career trajectory here, in many ways, he could be like RDJ, where he's tied to this role for the next decade, just like RDJ was with Tony Stark. And then after that, he can branch out into other things. But because you look at what Tom Holland's done, I love him as an actor. Cherry, the Crowded Room, and then I think he did one other thing that didn't really get a lot of attention.
The one with Daisy Ridley.
Oh my God, horrible! Chaos Walking.
Chaos, yeah.
Doug Liman, I think, directed it. That movie was a stinker.
Yeah.
So he hasn't really had success outside of the role.
Oh, he did Uncharted. I fucking hated Uncharted.
He did Uncharted. Yeah, you're right. He did.
Which, this is what I'll say. Every movie we just mentioned, he's the best part about him. Every single movie.
Yes.
Like Cherry, phenomenal performance. Crowded Room, that show got a little too much hate, but he's exceptional in there. That show. Oh, you haven't? Mm-mm. It's just too long. Like they try to do this twist, but you knew the twist 2 episodes, like by the second episode.
Oh, okay.
So like they don't reveal it till like the last, like episode 7, which like I watched the screeners. So then I go to work and I hear people talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah. Like I thought the twist was kind of, and then they're like, what twist? I'm like, oh, thought it was kind of obvious, but whatever. But yeah, and then he was also in The Devil All the Time with Robert Pattinson. He was really good in that too.
He was. That movie was well acted, but it was another one of those cases where like the first 45 minutes was nonsense to me. It was like the Skarsgård storyline, and then it picks up after that.
Yeah, it was a weird movie. But yeah, dude, like he just, I don't know, like, and I also think he's just kind of chilling. Like, I think he's more on like, I don't care what I do. Like, I think he just wants to live his life. But I also do think he knows that the fans love him as Spider-Man. So he's also going to do that duty. Because looking at his IMDb, he has 2 films coming up. Next Spider-Man and a Fred Astaire biopic. Which, this is directed by Paul King. So, guy who did Paddington. He's doing Wonka. I mean,
I'm excited for Wonka.
Me too. I think it looks, I'm surprised by how good it looks.
It looks delightful.
Exactly. I saw people shitting on it. I'm like, why?
Yeah, people are mad about the performance. I'm like, I don't.
You can't judge it by a trailer.
Exactly.
You can't judge it by a trailer. And it's Timothée Chalamet. This guy's like the next Leonardo DiCaprio for this generation. Yeah. So, like, we got to chill out. I don't know, man. I think Tom Holland's a good actor. I just think he needs to do, I don't know. I think he's just chilling.
Yeah, he's kind of chilling. I mean, I saw that podcast. He's just chilling, like he's just hanging out right now.
Yeah.
Maybe taking a bit of a break.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Yeah, he did go like back to back for like so many years, and now he's had this whole time off pretty much. So I'm open to it, man. I'm open. What do you want to see in it? Do you want to see Daredevil? Do you want to see Kingpin?
So I would love to see Daredevil and Kingpin. And I think if I'm lagging right now, apologies. I got the little Wi-Fi symbol in my corner. But I would love to see Daredevil and Kingpin show up. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Really?
But
I think they are.
You think they're both gonna show up? Okay.
Yeah, I would be more shocked if they don't.
Wow. I would love it if they did. What I want to see really, and I don't know if they're gonna go this route in the MCU because we've seen them do it twice now, is I want to see Harry Osborn in the MCU.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is when you bring in Harry, Gwen, or of course Felicia. However, I think it's Felicia Harding.
Yeah. And you know, like, just real quick before you go, because I know your point earlier about Zendaya and Ned, like, leave them out. I'm in that camp too. Like, obviously they were great in the trilogy.
Bring them back for the next one if you want to,
but they can come back later. They can come back later. It would feel unearned if they just turned around in one movie and said, "Oh, we're back to being best friends and lovers."
I would, dude. I will hate that so much. I would despise that. Give him the Daily Bugle. Let him start working there. Like, do these little things. He is on his own. Do not reverse shit. Do not reverse anything, because that was the biggest complaint, and I always defended it throughout the entire Homecoming. Then once I saw what they did, I'm like, perfect. This is a perfect origin story for his. Even though that's probably not what they planned, it was perfect. So we'll see. It's the MCU though. They'll probably readjust fast.
I imagine that they're going to bring him back pretty quickly. You know, so
yeah. Especially Zendaya. Zendaya's coming back. I mean, she's the money maker too. You know. Yeah. So
we have an Ahsoka question. Who do you guys think Maraki is in Ahsoka?
Oh, this is the one with the covered face, right?
Yep, and the double lightsaber.
Okay. All right. So apparently Sam Witwer is voicing him.
That's what I heard.
We didn't hear his voice. Before I knew that, I was like, oh, it's Ezra. It's probably Ezra. Mind-controlled, something of that nature. Thrawn's already back. We just don't know. But then by the end of episode 2, I was like, no, it's probably not, because Thrawn's still not back. I think they're literally going to do Starkiller from
that would be insane.
And the only reason I say this is because Ahsoka was Anakin Skywalker's Padawan, but who was his Padawan and his apprentice during the dark side? We never see it. And this would be the time to do it. If Sam's, I know there's Sam voices like 35 million different Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
This is the time. And it's Dave Filoni.
Do you know how crazy that would be? That would be insane.
I would flip the fuck out. I would flip the fuck out if Starkiller showed up. Or Galen or something like that.
Yeah, like I've played those games, never really, like I've dabbled in them, and like I've played them, hours of them.
The first one's the only good one. The second one's terrible, but yeah.
Yeah, so like I know of them. It's not like I'm fully versed in them, but I know enough about them to be like, would be hype if he did return or show up in actually, because that's not canon anymore, right? That was always like Legends.
No. It was always Legends. It was canon at one point, and then Disney bought it and all that stuff. So, dude, I hope so. But other than that, I'm not going to get my hopes up. I think it's more just, maybe it's this version of Darth Vader's apprentice, because he looks like an Inquisitor. Or it's just someone who's badass like the Knights of Ren. And they just look badass, and that's it.
Yeah. I'm excited, though. I'm really liking Ahsoka so far, and I like the weeknight release.
I hate that.
You hate it?
That's just,
wow.
I hate it for two reasons. One, because there's usually screeners on Tuesdays. So I have to pick and choose now. Like, I'm not missing Ahsoka unless it's some major film.
Mm-hmm.
And then second, I kind of like doing it at midnight. Like, it sucked going to work the next day and like having to like, but like it was cool, like, because I felt like the people who stayed up were like the true ones, like the crazy fucking people like me.
Yeah.
So I miss doing that. I don't know, but it's gonna be better for my sleep overall.
Yeah, for me, 3 a.m. was awful because I'm on the East Coast,
Yeah.
and so that was like I either go to sleep and wake up in the middle of the night and watch it and go back to sleep, or I go to sleep super early and just wake up at 3 and just don't go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And I kind of, the only time I really did that was with like the first 4 or 5 MCU Disney Plus shows. And then eventually I was like, I just need sleep. So I'll just watch this.
I almost did that with Secret Invasion. I almost did it with Secret Invasion. I was about done with that show. I think I got to the finale and I'm like, fuck it. There's only one more. I might as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like Loki, I'm hoping, dear God, just, you know.
Speaking of Loki, we have a super chat from Zach. Is Marvel full speed ahead with Jonathan Majors or what? If so, what are your thoughts? Thank you for the super chat, Zach. And I want to hear, Zach Pope, your thoughts on this.
I think they're going to keep him.
Okay.
I've talked to some people, like insiders. They did film something for Loki. If his trial and everything else goes terribly wrong, it's literally they're just going to swap the ending. Like, apparently it's just swap. Like, he'll be in the entire thing of Loki, and then they'll swap it. But I'll be honest with you, the more I've thought on this, sure, fine, they keep him, whatever. I kind of wish they didn't make every variant look the same. Mm-hmm. Like, the whole point of variants is for them to be played by different actors. And I know there's a version of Lady King, and like I've been really kind of sold on this idea of like, if you don't bring back Jonathan Majors, do Lady King and have her kill off this version of him and be the main central one, and cast Thandie Newton from Westworld to be it. I would be like so on board for that, because the original idea was not Kang as the main villain, but they love Jonathan Majors so much, and no matter what happens, he's a great actor. He's a great actor. There's no doubt about that. But if he's a piece of shit, I don't want to see him play a villain or even be in this world anymore. Like,
I
recast, agree. And this is the time to recast. It's all multiverse. And also, even if it wasn't, people don't care. I mean, you can swap actors at any point. You don't have to say why.
So if you had to recast, you would go Thandie Newton in like the Lady King.
I would do a lady version, yeah. But if I had to do a guy, I'd probably do David Oyelowo.
Okay.
So what about you?
Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Oh my God, but he's playing the fucking other dude.
Yeah, you're right. He's playing Wonder Man, isn't he?
He's playing Wonder Man.
Damn, didn't think about that. So never mind.
I just remember, yeah.
I would love that though.
What's the guy's name? Trevante Rhodes. He would be awesome too because he's got the physicality.
I totally forgot about Wonder Man. Isn't Bob Odenkirk in that?
No, I thought he dropped. He decided not to do it. I think they got oh fuck, who is it?
Odenkirk in the MCU would be great.
A while ago, I actually heard they wanted him for Norman for the MCU. This was a long time ago, though. This was a long time ago. I heard they either wanted him or I don't know if you watched The Walking Dead, the guy who played the governor, David Mortensen.
I haven't watched it. No.
Yeah. So he apparently is like.
So do you think in this kind of harking back to what we talked about earlier, do you think they do a new MCU Spider-Man trilogy and they introduce Norman and Harry? Do you think that's in the fold?
I think they have to.
Yeah.
I think it would be so cool because then you have a Peter Parker who knows what's going to happen to a Norman, to a Dr. Octavius, to a Dr. Kurt Connors, like where in reality, he's probably going to think in the back of his head, I can stop this from happening. But it doesn't. And it's going to eat him away. Also, the actor Ed Harris is the one that I heard took Bob Odenkirk's role for Superman. So that's
I like Ed Harris. Yeah, Truman Show, National Treasure 2.
Top Gun for the 2 scenes he had. So, but yeah, dude, I don't know. There's so much in the MCU. I'm still a fan of it. I want to keep seeing more. Just give me the goods. Don't make a shitty show, and please stop making okay movies.
Yes, I agree. I mean, Guardians 3, I think we can both agree, huge win.
Oh, gigantic. It's my favorite MCU film. Now, it's my favorite.
I respect that. It's my 4.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, it's a movie that the more I sit on it, the more I love it. And then like I found myself looking up that final sequence of them dancing. Like randomly. To just feel something, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's so good. It's so good.
Anytime I want like a real pick me up, I'll just throw on that song and just like think of the ending scene and just get happy.
Which that ending scene could have been so dark. And it wasn't. It was light. Like I went into this movie thinking Drax is dead, Rocket's probably gonna die.
Yep.
And no one died. Except Rocket's friends, which we knew that was probably going to happen. But, and I think that goes as far to show James Gunn as a director. I think that's going to, like, a lot of people have been kind of worried about Superman Legacy. I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 shows how lighthearted he can actually be.
Yeah.
And optimistic. And, man, that's the most important film that's probably ever going to be made for Warner Brothers.
If Superman Legacy flops, I don't know what they can do. Like, does Warner Bros. Have to consider selling DC at that point? Like, I'm serious. Like, what do they do?
I'm going to tell you, it's not going to flop, but it's not going to make a lot of money. I think it makes 550.
Okay.
And I think that's good. If it's a great movie and it makes at least 450 to 550, that's a win. Because then you start to get that, hey, this is a brand new DC. That's why I'm fully on board. They should just restart. Stop. I want Harley Quinn. I want Margot Robbie back, but fine. Get rid of him. I like Zachary Levi as Shazam. Fuck it. Get rid of him. Like, do not keep anyone. Even Gal. If they keep Gal, dude.
If they keep her, it's just going to confuse everybody, I think.
Yeah, because for me, why didn't you keep Henry then?
Yeah.
What? Like, he wanted to keep playing it.
Yep.
It makes no sense. Like, okay, Viola Davis, fine. We'll do the J. Jonah Jameson type thing. That's the one person that can come back. I think, and I would not be surprised if there was internal discussions after the Flash bombed that you guys are restarting everything. Yeah. Like, you're not doing this bullshit of
I don't even know where they can go. Like, Superman Legacy is like a hard reset, essentially, to me. That's my interpretation.
Yeah.
So is Blue Beetle going to appear? Like, I know he said that, but they have to like introduce some sort of variant concept, or is that?
Which I imagine that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
It's just like the Flash. They had the perfect opportunity to like end the film in a way that's like, and I'll tell you this: I think the Flash should have been the last DC film to come out. They should have pushed it back after Blue Beetle, after Aquaman, take that one big final finale, and had the ending of that. And I have no idea. You already spent fucking so much money on that movie. You might as well just spend a little bit more and just had an ending that's like, I don't know, David Corn Sweat shows up as Superman instead.
Yeah.
And
or your next Batman for Brave and the Bold.
And you didn't even have to do Ezra as the Flash. You could have had him come through or get lost, and then like the end credit scene is a whole new universe. I know they were trying to keep everything open-ended. That, oh, maybe Jason Momoa might come back. Oh, Ezra Miller might come back. But like, no one wanted that. No one. We want it free.
I really wish they would have had a set in stone ending. That's the biggest issue with the Flash for me. Aside from, I have issues with the movie I don't want to get into now, like just the plot and all that stuff. The actual fact that they had marketed it and pitched it as like, oh, this is going to reset DC, and it left me more confused than anything at the end. I don't know.
I'm sure there's general people who think, oh, so George Clooney's Batman now?
Multiple people. I mean, I was like, yeah, I was like, is he in the Clooney verse? Like, what's going on? Like, I was I'm still confused by it, honestly.
The easiest thing they should have done is just no Michael Keaton. They should have just done Thomas Wayne, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I don't know why they didn't do that.
It's a damn shame, honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot, man. There's a lot.
It is. But we'll take a few more questions.
Yeah.
And then wrap this thing up. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Apparently the actor who plays High Evolutionary.
I would be okay with this, but a lot of people had issues with it as well. And, for good reason, I can understand. But he was so damn good. Like, he's alive. James Gunn confirmed it. So. Mm-hmm.
He was one of the best. He was a fantastic villain in the MCU. Just such a despicable character.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you just hate him. You just hate him. And he was great in Peacemaker. Shout out to him. He was excellent in Peacemaker.
Yeah, he was.
I want to ask, you watched all of Peacemaker, right?
I did.
I feel like he was supposed to be Martian Manhunter. And they changed it because obviously Zack Snyder's thing was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like his character.
That would have been really neat, honestly.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. I really kind of, again, staying on this train of what is staying in DC, what's not. I really don't want them to get rid of John Cena as Peacemaker, but it might have to happen. I don't know. I feel like that's the one you might be able to get away with and keep.
Yeah, but then it's like the Suicide Squad. Like, is it canon?
Oh,
like,
God.
Because then that's going to be confusing. It's so fucked up.
It is.
That, like, I don't even know. Like, honestly, at this point, I think they should just... all the movies and stuff should be rebooted. Do a Peacemaker season 2. Maybe even, like, if it keeps succeeding, just keep making it on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
And just do that. But
it's frustrating, though, for real.
Yeah.
Jack says, I'm on the Star Killer train. Sam is itching for live action. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think he definitely is.
It's happening. We're going to manifest this shit.
And then the last one here from Nicholas says, do you think Warner Bros. Will allow James Gunn to make Superman Legacy R? I don't think it needs to be R for multiple reasons. Number one, box office. Number two, I don't think Superman by nature is an R-rated type of character.
They don't need to. I mean, look, but if they did want to, it could make money. Look at Oppenheimer. So,
yeah.
I mean, it just depends. And I think Gunn has said that this film is not R-rated, but certain films in the DC universe. So, like, I imagine Swamp Thing will be rated R.
Yeah.
I imagine The Authority, because I didn't even know who the fuck these people were. I bought the comic so I could read it. It's literally the boys. They're the boys. Like, they're the 7 in this universe, but they're not evil per se. They're just like, Justice League would take someone to jail. The Authority would burn someone's face off in front of everyone to make sure that everyone knows, don't do this again. Mm-hmm. So I imagine that's actually what they're going to build up to, is Justice League versus the Authority. I think that'll be the first big team up film they do. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he needs to either. I don't think there's any reason for it to be. There's really no R-rated or M-rated anything for Superman.
No, yeah, I agree. So I think they'll go PG-13. It's safer bet anyway, and it's gonna allow you to make a little more money off that movie, which they need to be a win.
That movie has to be the best movie that's ever been made. Like, if it's, I don't even know how they market the fucking thing, dude.
Honestly, I'm not that excited for it right now. Like, I'm gonna check it out. I'm looking forward to the Superman movie, but like, I still fear that in 2 years' time, a lot of people just are like gonna be like, I don't care. Where's Henry Cavill? Like, a lot of people are gonna be like, what, new Superman already? Like, I just fear the common moviegoer does not care.
Look at Pattinson. A lot of people kind of said the same thing about Pattinson. Like, this guy, and that movie was great. I think if the movie is great, we won't have to worry about it, because The Flash had mixed results. Blue Beetle, for the most part, started off good, but then I kind of started seeing a lot of mixed results. Mm-hmm. If Superman Legacy has great right out of the gate, everything, I think we'll see a word of mouth thing start to build for that movie. But that's like one of those movies that they probably got to show it to critics a month early.
You think they do a Flash where it's like 2 months early, or like CinemaCon?
I think that fucking hurt them. But I also think them doing so many damn public screenings also hurt them. They did more screenings for that movie than I've ever seen. I don't know how it was in your area, dude. They had so many just screenings. Like my friend who's not on social media, who's not on any of this, saw the film 2 weeks before I did at a press screening.
Yeah.
And he's not like the type that goes after these things. Like he's like, oh, I just like won a ticket walking around the mall. And I'm like,
what? Yeah, literally what?
So I don't know, man. We'll see.
We'll see. Hopefully DC can get, I want them to succeed. They have a lot of promise with their characters. I mean, I think the Elseworld stuff's always going to be a hit, like Joker, the Batman 2.
Yeah.
But can they make a consistently good to even great cinematic universe is the real task I think James Gunn has right now. And only time will tell.
Yep.
So
completely agree.
We'll have to see. But that's going to do it for this Film Stock Live show. Thanks for joining, Zach. I know you hopped on late. It was fun to have.
Thanks for letting me crash it,
combos
man.
There.
Yeah, absolutely. Letting me crash it.
Anytime, man. But for those in the chat or those watching on the replay, appreciate it. Hit that like button, drop some questions or some of your most anticipated movies in the comments on the replay. Subscribe if you haven't already. Go subscribe to Zach's channel if you haven't already. And that'll do it. Stay tuned for more content coming very soon. And until next time, see you guys later.